right. Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday evening. Welcome to episode 2 of the Teacup for One Indiana Jones movie marathon. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees. Tonight, that was just an app. It wasn't anything exciting. Tonight, we are talking about Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Kali Ma, to all of you. Take my heart. Just take it. Here we go. So it's a movie that has so much to discuss. I feel, especially compared to last week, because this is the thing. I didn't mention this on the show last week. Last week's show was kind of a milestone for the channel because it was the first time that we've repeated a movie on one of these live shows. One of the first live shows I ever did was when I did my Great Movie Ride Marathon a few years ago. And so Raiders of the Lost Ark was one of the movies that we discussed. And almost 2 years later, it came back. And I've come to the conclusion Raiders is a great movie, but there's not much to talk about with Raiders. But I feel like there's a lot to talk about with Temple of Doom. And we're going to talk about all those things today. But first, let's see who we have joining us in the chat. First, we have my cat, Eliza. Hello, Eliza. Many meows to you. My other cat, Sabrina, is here. Hello, Sabrina. Vince. Now, if you've watched the show regularly, you may recognize Vince from the chat. But Vince made his debut on the channel last week, and maybe he's going to come back. Who knows? Pancake is here. The Luck Funko Pops are in the Funko shop. Are they? So, yeah, I've had some people reach out to me. I think more than one person, just to encourage me to get the Funko Pops from the movie Luck, which I haven't seen, but I'm very interested in it because it has a black cat. And even within an arm's reach, I have another black cat Funko Pop. So I'm all about black cats. I love them. They're lucky. So thank you. I wish I knew that yesterday because I ordered a Funko Pop off of the Funko shop and I could have saved on shipping. Anyway, who else is here? And it's my mom. Good evening. Well, we have a bunch of guests tonight, which I'm so excited for. We have some of our regular favorites. We have some of my favorite people that we don't get to see on the channel very often. So let's bring them all in. I already mentioned it, but let's bring them in first. It's Vince, everybody.
Hey, folks.
Hey, Vince. Welcome back.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here again.
Oh, I'm excited to have you. Wonderful. So, yeah. I didn't think of an opening question. Just quickly, while I think of an opening question, how's your week been?
Week's been all right. A little tough. I'm doing well on TikTok. I have a video that's kind of blowing up.
How many views?
I'm at 55,000.
What is the TikTok? What did you do?
Well, you can follow me at Vinny Ridge Media. I made a video about the Dorset Lookout Tower in, I don't know, maybe two hours north of Toronto. And I connected it to ghostly encounters. And that stuff does very well on TikTok, apparently.
Brilliant. Well, I need ghosts. I love that. So I guess on that note, but completely unrelated, what is your favorite temple? Since we're here to talk about Temple of Doom. Favorite temple?
Oh, okay. It's escaping me right now. It's in Cambodia. I forget the name of it. I don't know. Look, it's absolutely beautiful. I forget the name. I'm ashamed of myself. I'm gonna go with the Taj Mahal because that's my second favorite.
Good choice. And also, favorite Cole Porter song.
I don't think I know.
Okay, well, think on that. Let's bring in Alex T-Tie. Alex, what's your favorite Cole Porter song?
Well, actually, my favorite Cole Porter song is probably the one featured at the start of this film. Is Anything Goes.
In English or in Chinese? Is it in Chinese or Mandarin in this movie?
I don't know actually. I'm not sure. I was assuming it was an Asiatic language, but I'm not sure. But yeah, no, in English for sure. I think Cole Porter's clever in every song of his, but Anything Goes. It scratches my funny bone especially.
Anything Goes it's a good number. It's a good show-stopping number. I saw the Broadway revival, like the big one that happened a few years ago with Sutton Foster, and it's not a show I ever had any interest in. And I had seen it once. I had seen a college production, which was fine. But seeing the material done at the top tier quality that it can be done, it's so good. Yeah. But when it's not that, it's just like when it's not in Indiana Jones, why bother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the Top is a close second. I mean, that's
Yeah.
from the show, but yeah, that's also like a great fun number.
Probably be Blow Gabriel Blow. Again, for the production quality, like if you got a really good choreographer, like as a production number, really, really fun.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun.
Blow Gabriel Blow. Let's bring in Jeanette. Hello, Jeanette.
Hi. I also don't know who this man is that sings these
Porter?
songs.
And yet we know Living
He doesn't
Dead
sing
Girl.
all his. Well, actually, I wonder if he did sing all his songs at one point. But
He did The Lovely, It's Delightful. It's
Well, Anything
delightful.
Goes sounds a lot like Putting on the Ritz, and I was going to be like, is that the same person? Because
Or well, is it?
that's-
I don't know. I don't
have
think
no
so.
idea.
But it's
I don't think so either.
Hmm.
So,
So then-
I'll just say it's the one in the movie then.
Would you like to answer
No.
favorite temple?
Favorite temple? Sure. Is there like I don't know. I don't know any good temples. Really. I'm trying to think of a good one. Oh, the Temple of the Jedi. Sure. There's
Oh.
a Jedi temple, isn't there?
yeah on Coruscant, amongst other places, Dantooine as well.
Yeah, there's temples.
I would have said
But I-
the
Actually,
Temple
yeah.
of the Forbidden Eye.
This temple right here.
Yes, very good. Oh, actually, Pancake wants to know, Jeanette, what's your favorite Disney movie?
What's my favorite Disney movie? God, rando. Forever and Always, Lion King. That's my easy
Good
answer.
choice.
It
Disney
changes
Shakespeare
like daily as what one I want to watch. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
my forever and always answer.
Good answer. Well, let's bring in our final guest for tonight, a Disney expert and Indiana Jones expert. Welcome back to the channel. It's Bondo from We Like Theme Parks.
Kalima Shakti De! Kalima!
Oh, cool.
You got it.
Kalima.
How?
Yeah,
Don't let it burn. Don't let it
I
burn you.
paid for it. That's wow. You know, I know somebody. It's
Wait, where are the three lines that represent the different planes?
You know what? You don't get
It
it.
burned it. It warmed
Yeah,
up. It melted off.
Yeah, it's just 3 smooth lines. Yeah, Disney. What are you gonna do? I don't know. They came out with these like I don't know, like 6 months ago, and a friend of mine who worked at the parks scooped me one, shipped it to Canada. I ended up paying like twice as much for it, but I got it. Yeah,
Nice. Oh, I didn't
Hey.
realize it was that recent that they.
Yeah,
Oh, well, I guess.
They added all these relics, all these Indiana Jones relics.
yeah,
that
one
you
from
can
every
buy now.
film. Yeah, it's pretty
Really? What is? Well, I guess from Raiders it would be the gold thing from the beginning. I would assume. Like what else?
The
would-
medallion,
There's
you mean?
other stuff too. You can buy
It's-
the bullwhip
Oh,
and all that jazz.
medallion. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get the Crystal Skull is the most expensive one, but
Good,
the
as it
least
should be.
Yeah.
The best movie.
Oh
If
yeah.
You can buy the cup of cup of a carpenter. You can buy that from Last Crusade.
Nice.
Good. That chosen wisely. Chosen wisely.
Mhm.
So, Chris Bond, what's your favorite Cole Porter song?
It's anything goes because of
Because of
Temple
this movie?
because of Temple of Doom. And I was like, oh, what about those other hits? No, you know what I mean?
It's such a good utilization of such a great song, and I
Yeah.
adore it. Yeah.
And it's like it feels like they just were like, let's do a Buzz. Was it Bugsley Berkeley? I'm saying his name wrong.
Busby
Bugsby.
Berkeley.
Bugsby. It's like
Busby.
well, let's just do this. We want to do it's like Spielberg just wanted to do a musical number. There's really no reason for that thing to be there, but it's beautiful and it's a great way to start a movie.
It sets the tone so well,
Yeah.
especially compared to how the other movie opens. Like it's
Like,
so different.
Where are all those
Exactly.
people? Where are they in that dragon head? Where are they? I don't know. Obi-Wan has got to be a much bigger club than we realize because like
That's what I was thinking. I was like, where is this? This is in fantasy world. This
That's
is
right. But I'm down. But I'm down. I'm in the fantasy world. I'm happy to join. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, as am I. As
May
am
I mention my favorite temple?
Oh yes, you. Oh yeah. Is it Forbidden Eye?
No, it is not. It is the
Oh.
temple in Tokyo at Tokyo Disney Sea. It is Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Crystal Skull, which actually came out previous, like before the movie came out, and it's a totally different story, and it's
Oh.
way cooler than the one.
Probably. I was gonna say probably
That's
would have
a
been a
big
lot
What's-
better.
What's the story of the ride? Are there still aliens, or is it just a crystal skull from Earth?
You're looking for the Fountain of Youth, and then there's this crystal skull that's saying, "No, you can't come." And then the whole temple. There's a lot of the same effects from the Hollywood temple,
Mhm.
but it's way darker, way scarier. Like in America, they make everything like less scary. Overseas, forget it. They want scares. And so
Good.
it's really dark and spooky. There's this
Yeah.
big fireball effect. And I was like, oh, they made this concurrently with the film release? No, totally separate. rando. But anyway,
I wonder if it's a coincidence that that was Crystal Skull and the movie was Crystal Skull, and they were just like, well, let's just go with it.
yeah, maybe Spielberg went on the ride and went, "This is dope. Let's
Yeah.
just do this.
Let me make it slightly
What,
worse.
aliens, huh? Who's down for aliens?" And then they all went, "Okay."
And Kate Blanchett. And Kate. We love
Yeah.
Kate.
She's amazing.
Well, is she good or is she just tall? It's what I always like to remind people. I think
Well,
she's good.
Well, if you want to talk about that movie, we can. But I thought we were here for Temple.
No, you're right. You're right. We're here for Temple. We're here for Temple. So, welcome to the Temple of Doom chat, everybody. So, for those of us who have joined us for the first time or the first time in a while, the opening question I like to go with is, especially for nostalgic movies like this, please recount for me how you first discovered this film and talk about what it meant to you back in the day. And then we're going to circle back and talk about how it holds up now on your most recent viewing. I have no nostalgic connection to this movie. Much like I said last week, Indiana Jones wasn't a part of my childhood because I was too scared of it. So there we are. Mostly actually because of this movie, because I had a friend when I was like that I grew up with who, as I mentioned last week, was the type that was like watching It with Pennywise when he was 4 years old. And he tried to get me to watch all of his favorite movies and they all scared me. And the one Indiana Jones movie he showed me was this, specifically the scene with the heart being ripped out. And so for me, that was a huge red flag of I'm never watching this franchise. And it always scared me to the point where even on Disney trips, I wouldn't watch the Indiana Jones show at MGM Studios, now Hollywood Studios, even though
Really?
it was a theater show. I was like, no, nothing that involves the hearts getting ripped out. Can't do it. So
I wish
it
they'd
always
have done that
scared me.
part in the stunt show. That'd be great. You had like
Right?
blood bladders for the show in Disney World. Just like,
Oh, if they incorporated it into the part when the fake audience member gets beat up, if the stunt
they
actor,
they put them in a big like box with
Yeah.
chains on them.
Cage, yeah.
I would be so into that. But yeah. So Jeanette, what's your nostalgic connection to this movie?
To specifically Temple, because
Yeah.
I think last week I just talked about Indiana Jones and Temple in general. Temple I have seen about like at least 3 times as much as I've seen the other 2 movies. I don't know why that is. I mean, it's really not. I mean, like I do like it. It's a very exciting movie, but I think it's on TV more. I think maybe my dad was more into it. Maybe that one was put into the VCR more often. But I do know that I know this one from front to back way more solidly than I know either of the other 2 because of rewatching. So that's my tie to this one specifically.
It does have a good rewatchability factor, I feel. We'll get into it. Vince, what about you?
I like this movie. You know, I mentioned last week that my first exposure to Indiana Jones was the VHS box set as a kid. And so the first movie scared the crap out of me. And then my dad's like, don't worry, the next one's not that bad. That one, I swore it off for like 3 days. I wouldn't watch the third one. The Kali Ma scene, obviously, but also what also really got to me was the scene where they're walking down in that dark dungeon with the bugs on the floor, and that
Yep,
messed me up. I
bugs.
haven't liked bugs ever since.
Bugs and eye injuries. You
Yeah.
can keep it.
Ugh.
So, as a result, Temple of Doom for most of my life has been my least favorite of the original trilogy. But I still like it.
Okay. We'll circle back. Alex, hashtag justice for Wuhan. Okay.
Yeah, Wuhan.
Yeah, Wuhan.
Andy's friend, Wuhan.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Such a short-lived experience.
All of a sudden
on
he's got
screen.
this kid.
Respect,
This
Alex.
other guy's gone.
No, so I grew up with Indiana Jones. Watched through the trilogy a few times at various years growing up with my parents. And Temple of Doom for me was just a pit stop, you know, from Raiders of the Lost Ark into The Last Crusade. As in, it was also my least favorite of the indie films, and I was just like, all right, I guess we'll watch this one too. Actually, I'm pretty sure we didn't always watch Temple of Doom. I'm pretty sure after like the first 2 times, we were like, okay, let's just skip Temple of Doom. We don't need that one. You know, we got Raiders, we got Holy Grail. You know, we don't need the whole. I mean, don't get me wrong, Kali Ma is great, but it's a silly movie. And I think even at the time, even as a young kid, I was just like, this is too silly. I don't believe what I'm
Silly?
seeing. It's too silly.
You seem to have a real problem sometimes with these disconnects too. Like with it's fantastical. It's a little kooky. Like,
Yeah, it's silly. It's silly.
It is, yeah,
it's
yeah,
nonsense,
silly.
as,
Yeah, yeah,
as
non-
we say on the show sometimes.
Yes, it is nonsense.
So-
As you
Utter
say
nonsense.
on the
Yeah.
show. sometimes.
Yeah. No, I try to slip in a nonsense if Alex can't make it, just to keep the
Yeah,
nuns alive, even though I forgot last week, but whatever. Chris Bond, tell us about your first association with this film.
Well, I'm old, right?
Yeah,
So when this movie came out, what, 80?
I think it's like 85.
84. It's 84. I was going to bring up, there's a
It's-
bunch of freaking good movies that
It's when
year.
I just started watching movies. Like
Mhm.
that's like very young Bondo starting to enjoy the movie theater. And I the first movie I ever saw in the theater was Return of the Jedi and seeing the Death Star blow up. And I'll never forget being like, wow, I love movies. This is incredible. And my dad, I had divorced parents, so I did the every other weekend thing. And all I did with my dad is eat pizza and watch movies. So I'm a child of the Conan, Red Sonja, Tron generation, Ice Pirates, no joke, like those kind of like deep cut sci-fi fantasy films. That's all we watched. And my dad was like, but this, son, this is Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I liked Raiders, but then Temple of Doom was just something so extraordinary. Because as a child, where Alex is dumping on the fantastical ability of it, for me as a youth, I was like, okay, guns and Nazis, cool. All right, I'm a kid. I don't know what this is. I'm really interested in the dungeon crawling of all of this. Now I get to go on a complete dungeon crawl adventure with this magic magician doing this dark voodoo magic, and anything can happen, and wild goose chases and craziness and water exploding out. Come on, what's going on? The worst of these movies, I'm gonna shake these guys. I'm looking. I don't know which box. I don't know which box. But this movie is fantastic, and yeah, I'll say it. I have an emotional connection to it because I feel like this was the first action adventure movie that I adored. That I thought, wow, this is special.
Mhm.
And another thing is, my last name's Bond. I love James Bond movies. This was kind of like James Bond, but different, and it spoke to me right away. My dad was trying to get me to watch these James Bond movies. I was like, no, that's a way better James Bond. Is this Indiana Jones guy? He's way cooler. So yeah, definitely love this movie, and it is numero uno in my books. So,
Until Dial of Destiny.
yeah, we'll
well,
see.
well,
But
we'll
it's
see.
more Nazis, right? So
Is it more not? When does it happen? I don't.
I'm making an assumption. I could be wrong, but it.
Yeah.
Listen. Look, the aliens was a bad move. But voodoo, I'll buy. Like this kind of dark magic, this mystical, like a temple and the powers of the
Yeah.
stones. I'll buy that. Aliens.
Yeah. Well, aliens are fun. No, but that's 2 weeks away. That's a whole world away.
I ain't coming to that one. Yeah.
No. Okay.
Matt
But
shows up that day and he's like, what
where
happened?
is everybody?
Hello. Anybody want to talk about?
Hello?
No.
Aliens? Crystal skulls? Okay. So how do we feel the movie holds up now? Like 40-ish years later after it's come out? From our most recent viewings. I will say that
Mhm.
as someone who I've said I have no nostalgic emotional connection to Indiana Jones, this one is the one that I gravitate to the most, which now I feel kind of bad about it because on my most recent rewatch, I realized there's a lot of things that aren't great, like politically correct wise, but not whatever, but that's a thing to be discussed after. But all the issues I had with Raiders that made me kind of indifferent to it last week were not issues here. Like, first off, I think Indiana as a character is more active and the plot depends more on him as opposed to last week where the Nazis melt with or without him, as we discussed. I love that we dig a little bit more into the mythology that's being explored, which again, last week, that was my issue. They just say it's the Ark of the Covenant. You know what that is. It melts people. Like, I don't know that. Tell me your version movie of what this mythology is. And then, like Bondo said, everything, the dungeon crawling, the multi-layers of getting further and further and deeper into the dark underbelly of this temple. It's so engaging for me, which I adore. And it's just such a simple concept, like save the kids.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you think about Raiders,
Yeah.
like what are the moments in Raiders that stick with you? It's the opening
Boulder.
crawl in the crypt, not the crypt, the cave,
Mhm.
and then the Well of Souls. Like those are and even when he goes into the map room, like those are the three moments I'm like, whoa, like he's doing it. He's being an archaeologist. He's crawling, he's Tomb Raidering it. He's getting in there. He's looking for things. That's exciting. You know, you're gonna punch a bunch of Nazis. Great. Okay. You're gonna jump it's another vehicle chase. Cool. I like those. But I'm here for this adventurer plunging into these exotic places and trying to dodge out these like traps. And so Temple of Doom, they just made a whole place. Like, you got
a lot more. There's a lot more world building happening, not just like visually with literally going in deeper and deeper, but like they're, like you said, they're explaining more to you. Before it was just kind of like, and they're in this part of the world, you know where that's at, and we're gonna reference the Bible pretty loosely, and there's some Nazis, you know they're bad, right? Like, it's cool. We don't really have to explain a whole lot.
Travel by map.
A whole lot doesn't really have to happen here. But in Temple of Doom, there's a lot more happening. There's a lot more cogs, more people. I feel like as we go through these movies, and who knows, we'll see what happens with Dial of Destiny. Maybe it's not true in the fourth one. They tried to make it true, but you get more story of individual characters too. Short rounds aren't really fleshed out too well. The woman, they do give us at least some like, we get a reference of where she's from. She was a singer. We get to know her a little bit. Like, more and more people have stories around them, not just, and here's this guy and we're going to tell you who they are and we're just going to keep moving. Like, you get a little bit more of everybody around them. Even with the bad guys, I feel like we talk to them a little bit more in this one, or you can see different people. Like, there's this guy with the British accent and there's the guy with the freaking headdress, and you know, I think it is flushed out a lot more. There's more world. There's more tangible stuff.
Yeah, I also think it operates really in a really cool, unique way as a sequel, because like last week's movie is so much about put it in the museum, and then this movie touches on, well, they took it away. We want to bring it back and now also use it for evil. And I don't know, I enjoy having a convention that's flipped and explored in a different way, because this doesn't fall into the trap of let's hit all the same story beats and just kind of make it different. It totally inverts everything in so many ways. Like, the female character is a total 180 from Karen Allen as Marion last week, and I adore her. I love, what's her name, Willie. Yeah, I love Mrs. Spielberg. I love Mrs. Spielberg. I think she might be my favorite Indiana Jones girl. She's
interesting.
She's so obnoxious but so endearing at the same time. I love her. But yeah. Anyway, Alex, Vince, how do you think this movie holds up?
I think it's dated. I think
that's the joy of it.
I think, well, so let me clarify that, attack it a little bit more. I did watch the first one before I watched Temple of Doom. Again, rewatched it. And I think the first one, like Raiders of the Lost Ark, holds up better overall as just like a movie that can be enjoyed today versus Temple. But, and what I mean by that is, I think it's a combination both of how, so when I say the movie's silly, I'm not even like, I think the Temple stuff and the villain, and the characters, all of that is great in my opinion. That's not what's silly to me. The fantasy of it is actually not what I was referring to. What I was referring to was all of the just unbelievable things that happen, not fantastical things, but like, you know, surviving an airplane. Yeah, exactly. So using a boat to jump out of an airplane, you know, whatever, like even the simple stuff. I understand these are tropes that are often used in films, especially of that time. But, you know, like him and Willie falling out of the building and landing in short round round car.
I guess you can't ever enjoy a James Bond movie or a Fast.
So I already admitted.
What other franchises you just want to toss out the window?
Pirates?
No. So
we got what happened. It's a little bit, you know.
This movie's chock full, Mr. Bondo. This movie has it's a bit exaggerated in my opinion on the use of such of these sort of unbelievable tropes. At least that was my experience watching this particular film. I have no, and it didn't leave me not enjoying it. It just made me really connect with the time that the movie was made. Like, it really, again, it just dated it for me. It made me feel like this is a movie of its time, not necessarily in a bad way, but just in a way of like, it's not as timeless, or
it plays out like an action novel, like kind of like a trashy action novel, like
and
all
an
easy read.
Yeah.
that's kind of how I write it off. When I'm
Yeah,
watching
and,
it, it kind of is very novelistic in
Yeah.
that. Like I read ones that are like more like dark, like vampire stuff, whatever. You know, like I read that trash and stuff like that. And you just go with you're like, all right, well, that's the laws of this world. It's like in this world, these are the parameters, and this is what's gonna happen. If he falls out of a plane and there's not spikes on the ground, he's probably alive.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like-
It's there was
Guys,
just
it was an inflatable raft
yeah,
with the snow. On
yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah.
The water
That shot was
went over a cliff.
beautiful, by the way.
Landed.
like, I want to know if those were
Riptide
actual
or not
people.
A bit of wind,
Yeah.
a little bit of wind, got a little bit of
Yeah.
loft, and they landed delicately, ever so delicately, perfectly in the middle of that very narrow river.
It's the laws of
Raging
aerodynamics,
narrow
Alex.
river, yeah. Yeah, no.
Hollywood, Hollywood. Let's have
Yeah.
a good time. I'm watching a cinema film. I mean, come on,
Yeah,
Alex,
yeah.
come on, have a good time, buddy.
No, I did, and I didn't have a bad
Jones.
time. It's just,
Have you ever watched James Bond ski down a hill with 30 assassins on skis
Yeah.
with Uzis, and somehow he's just
yeah,
whatever?
dodging all the bullets
to
and
take
shooting
me?
who needs to, yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't
Can you
my,
always be here
my
to debate
favorite.
with Alex?
Only if we're talking about Temple, because this
Yeah, that's true.
is the bomb diggity, and I don't
Yeah.
know. how
Bondo.
these knuckleheads are like, I don't, I didn't appreciate some of the ridiculousness of this jump and this. Well, maybe actually I like this and that, but when I was 11 and I watched this, I was just felt a disconnect immediately. I did not appreciate. I was like, that circumstances are impossible, and quite frankly, I'm out of this movie already. Guys,
Yeah.
this is Indiana. You know what you're watching when you turn this thing on. You know what it is.
I do.
So jump in,
The pit stop.
in, and take that Sin Cara
The movie
stone out.
before Last
Yeah.
Crusade. That's what we're in for.
Is-
Shame,
Well,
shame.
I don't remember Last Crusade enough to have a rebuttal, but I feel like I don't like it. But we'll get there. Vince, tell me, how does this movie hold up for you?
Okay, look, the inflatable raft was goofy. Look, I really appreciate you almost turned me. You almost got me on Team Raft. But like,
Working, Vince, I was working it. I thought I had it.
you're good. You said it very eloquently, but I think here's what messed me up. There was an episode of Scooby-Doo that I saw before I watched this as a kid, where they parody that exact scene. So when I watched Temple of Doom for the first time, I was like, they're ripping off Scooby-Doo. What's going on here?
Wait a second. So had you not watched Scooby-Doo, you'd love this movie? So Scooby-Doo is
We're
ruined.
talking about one scene.
That's unfortunate.
We're talking about one scene here. I said I like the movie, not my favorite of the original trilogy, but it's good. If I can isolate it from Scooby-Doo, yes, I'm okay with the Fast and Furious movies. All sorts of ridiculous stuff going on, so I'll let the raft slide. That's fine. That's
Literally.
totally
And slide it does.
Yeah.
and
Even on gravel, it slides.
it's true.
Yeah. There's no snow. It's still going.
Look, as for the rest of the movie, I think it's aged pretty well. There's a few things that are like, I don't know. I guess people maybe they shouldn't have done the monkey brain scene. I don't know, but
Why not?
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Until I was a teenager, that was like, well, I say until I was a teenager, until I was like a grown kid and watched it of my own volition. That was like the scene I remembered. Y'all all talk about Kali Ma. I'm like, monkey brains. That's
Actually, no,
what
I remember the eyeball soup because that and Kali Ma were the two things that my friend made me watch as a child. And I had the memory of the eyeballs coming up out of the soup, and that was the other thing that made me think, no, not this
I
movie.
feel like after the first film,
Mhm.
and I think so, I can't remember. Maybe it was Vince who said that you were terrified of this film.
yes,
That Raiders scene when the dude's face melts was
Yes.
pretty scary as a child.
Best.
Oh, yeah.
And even still now, I'm like,
I think Raiders is scarier, but for me.
totally, without a doubt. I think this was on purpose, guys. I were like, okay, how do we make this more like Star Wars, a little bit more Family Jam?
I thank
You
you.
know,
That's
monkey
so.
brains.
I was gonna say
Right.
this one has a lot of elements. It has a lot more Lucasy things to it. I feel
Yes.
with like literally down. I forget what it is. There's one thing that like flies off to the side of the screen, and there's like a almost cartoonish like pew, just a
Yeah.
tiny little like, like, and I was like, oh my gosh, there it is. That's that, and like the scenes with the matte drawings. There you go, Matt.
Thank
Matte
you.
drawings with the raft. Like I'm pretty sure that's matte drawings, isn't it? That they're falling in front of, or is it? Because that the cave picture you have behind us here, that's a matte
Yeah.
drawing for sure.
Mhm.
There's quite a few scenes where they're moving through matte drawings. One of them when the guy falls down the cliff, there's a really beautiful one. But yeah, that's I noticed a little bit more Lucasy touches
Yeah.
on it. And maybe I didn't do my credit reading properly, but did George Lucas, he wrote the story for all three, or the second one, or the first and second? 'Cause he wrote the
Definitely,
story for
definitely this
one.
one.
Wrote the
Yeah,
story.
they both came up with the story, and they had a new screenwriter for this from Raiders, who is not a household name. I can't remember who it is.
No, but I did notice he wrote this, or I couldn't remember if he wrote.
It was one of the people who wrote American Graffiti, I think. The screenplay.
Oh.
for that.
George Lucas. There we go.
But
Yeah.
my understanding is the plot of this movie, I think, what was the story? I heard about Lucas lied and said he already had the next story ready because he wanted Spielberg to sign a multi-picture deal, but he didn't have anything. So what they did is they pulled crap that got cut from Raiders
Mhm.
and made a story, and it was the parachute from the plane and the minecart case were supposed to be in the first film. They harvested that badness, and by badness I mean goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they said, "How do we? Okay, let's make this movie. We're going to include these things."
So,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh no, please. I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, okay. Well, so I feel like they found the fun. One of the things I love about Fast and the Furious is that, I know we're not talking about that, but they say, what's just something really cool people would want to see? A car explodes on a plane going over the sun, and you jump over it and catch a helicopter. What's the most ridiculous thing? And then they make it materialize. And I think that's what George Lucas had in mind with some of these pieces. He's like, what are these crazy things that we would want to do on screen? And then in the second film, just going back to Tinker J's bit about tone, because Raiders is very level. Like the tone is very level the whole
Level
time.
to the point of almost being dull at points.
I would never say the first one,
No.
but this one goes definitely darker. But then you have these very like childish, like the musical number and the dinner scene that kind of raise the level into,
Mhm.
making that dark a little brighter and leaving this whole thing out. And I think it was totally premeditated and smart. And it basically appealed to that more adult audience and the kid audience. And it worked. 7-year-old Bondo is like,
Mhm.
"Devil, and I bought the stone for crying out loud."
So I understand the original plan for implementing the inflatable raft scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark was that the plane was he was going to be taking the plane to Karen Allen's bar. Then it gets hijacked by Nazis, so he jumps out with the inflatable, slides down the side of a mountain, and sidles up right in front of Karen Allen's bar. Bondo, would you have preferred Raiders of the Lost Ark if they did that?
Ooh.
Yeah, so take all the good parts from Temple of Doom and put it in Raiders. Do you still like Temple of Doom? I don't know. Temple of Doom, it's got the stuff in it, and it's awesome. So work with me, brother. Come on, man.
Fair enough.
This is a good movie. Listen, if you've got, let me put this for you, Vince. You ever go to a restaurant you really like what's your favorite restaurant? Vince?
I have gone to a restaurant that I really like.
What's your favorite restaurant, Vince?
My favorite restaurant. Oh shit! Sorry, I'm gonna have to go for, let's say, Wow Wing in Scarborough.
Love it. I love Wild Wing. Great pick. So let's say, how many flavors are at Wild Wing? Like 50 flavors of wings?
Well, I
Right.
said Wow Wing, which is local to Scarborough, and they've got over 100 flavors.
Ooh,
Sorry.
wow. Wow, indeed.
Vince loves about 30 of them, but you know what? He only got to eat 20 of them in that first sitting. When he came back for that second sitting, he had 10 new flavors he already loves, and it's already there. Plus, they're going to come up with some even more flavors. I feel like it's all good flavors, Vince. Come on now, have a bite. Have a
You're
bite.
making me hungry.
And I mean, I think to carry on to that, my issue with Raiders is that there are just too many flavors. Like 20 compared to 10. I can savor the 10 flavors of this movie because they have more focus as opposed to Raiders. My thing with Raiders was that it was just action sequence after action sequence after action sequence, and I felt like the plot was just there to get us to the next cool thing. Whereas here it just feels like even though it is also sequence after sequence, they meld better for me in terms of narrative. And
Yeah. Well, there's
that's
a
what-
much clearer story and point. Like they kind of kept chasing their tail on the last one, right? Like it's kind of one of those things like where you're playing relay rally with the item. I've got it and you've got it and I've got it and you've got it. And sometimes that's okay. And sometimes it's obvious, you know? So I feel like this one definitely had a lot more for your eye and your mind to do than the
Yeah,
than
like
this
ask
one.
questions like, why is that? What? Oh, all of a sudden there's a voodoo doll. Why? Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Like I really
There's a swirling bit of lava.
Come on,
Why?
Alex.
the voodoo doll was a little weird because I didn't remember that at all. I think, and I will say this, as a kid, the thing that
The
scared me
mean
the
kid.
most
Yeah.
as
I like
a
the kid.
child was the fact that there was an evil king child. I was like, that's a
Oh, I
child.
love Evil
Like,
King Child.
Yeah,
I
he's
was
great.
that freaks me out when there's when I was a kid, like for that, I was like, nobody's on your side. They're the
Yeah.
children
not even
are
the kid.
evil. It's
Yeah,
bad.
that's rough.
Actually, well, that was one of the things
So-
that stood out to me on this reviewing was or rewatch was how scary almost all of the kids are because they speak with such intelligence that seems beyond
And
whatever
so
their ages.
calm.
And they're
Like
so
that
that's
one that's
it.
like,
Yes.
and when
Very
you
funny.
when
Haha,
you
very
drink
funny.
the bad blood, you don't wake up. I'm like, oh my god. I was
Yeah, although
like,
that
I
didn't end up being
forgot
a
how much that freaked
wrong,
me out.
kinda.
But right,
Um,
it worked. You're
It
talking-
Well, and I
works.
think I went into this whole month thinking that Raiders of the Lost Ark was my favorite. And I can tell you, at least by the second week, I know that not to be true. And I just don't think I thought about it at all. I just kept answering that question. I was like, yeah, Raiders. Everybody says Temple.
Well, listen,
Raiders
let's
is
be
my
clear. Let's be
And I've
clear.
rewatched it. I'm like, it's a little slow. It's a
The
little.
three movies, we can all agree that the first three movies are three really good movies.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
we agree on
All
that?
of them.
They're
Yeah,
good
they're all
movies.
good
Temple's
pieces of.
kinda...
We're gonna put them in our own order of
Oh,
Yeah.
preferences, and that's gonna happen. And I realize I'm in the minority, but I don't care because you're wrong. And but we can all agree these are three exceptional films. Like they're
Yes.
all very good.
They all deserve to be where they are in history.
Indiana
I think.
Jones, what? Like it wasn't until the fourth movie where we're like, oh, they can make bad ones. Oh, okay. Oh, that's new. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Well, and it's
Right.
also the longest break between movies.
Yeah.
Which is
I don't know. Says the
I
Tron
think-
fan. You know what I mean? How
says
long-
the Tron fan and the Avatar fan. So what do I know?
No, what was the distance between Tron and Tron Legacy or whatever that second-
20
84, 82 or 84, and then 2010.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
30 something years. 37. My math's.
Okay. And then when was Last Crusade?
Last Crusade was 89.
Yeah, that's the thing with the thing. in it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Carry the whatever. I think
Yeah,
Tron-
carry the thing. I guess the major difference though there is that the Tron was sequel was more of a reboot. Like we had Jeff Bridges kind of show up, but it wasn't hinging on him the way that the
Yeah.
fourth indie movie was like, here's
talking about-
Harrison Ford.
It was a direct extension of the universe.
Yeah, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't us following Flynn the whole time. It was his son. Or
But
son.
he-
I watched
he-
it on a plane. I can't remember what happened. To
Yeah,
that.
No, but
but
they
so-
both kind of did the same thing, right? Indy also tried to like pass the torch. To
Yeah,
Shia
but
LaBeouf,
Jeff Bridges
too.
didn't have to like do the literal like gymnastics and
Yeah.
acrobat. Like I just think like if you can be the chill dude, that's a lot easier than whatever Harrison Ford's trying to do, literally breaking his legs doing it. So, I mean, I will say that the man keeps going and he keeps entering himself and then he just keeps acting and doing the same thing. And it's amazing. I worry for him.
It's all he
But
knows.
it's amazing.
He's had a good run.
He really has. It's
So,
I'll tell you what, every time I watch these, I get that nostalgic appreciation for young, attractive Harrison Ford. Not that he's not an attractive older man now, but like he,
Yeah.
there's a reason he
rugged.
was in the place that he was in pop culture.
Han Solo is the reason, but
Well, yeah, and then this is an extension. This
I
solidified
yes,
the legacy.
and then moving
then
forward,
Witness.
yeah,
This and then Witness. There we go.
yeah.
and
So,
Fugitive.
The
I'll just keep
Fugitive.
mentioning
Fugitive.
I'll
Yeah,
just
and-
keep mentioning.
Fire
what, are,
Wall.
what other
Reading.
awful movies
Air
was
Force
he in
One.
after Indiana Jones?
Snakes on a no, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't. Snakes on a Plane. The-
When
I'm
is
sur-
Snakes on a Plane happening for us? Sorry.
Yeah.
One day it'll happen. So to backtrack really far back in the conversation, like there were kind of points brought up about this being in some ways less scary than Raiders, but I think it's interesting because this is one of the movies that made PG-13 happen because it was deemed too scary for kids and for families, and they were like, not quite R, definitely not G. What do we do? Then I think Spielberg might have been behind it to say, you're not giving us an R rating because no one will come see the movie. Make up something new, and then they listened to him. So let's just dive into that a little bit more. The idea of how do we feel the scary factor holds up comparative to Raiders? I know some of us have already said that we think Raiders is scarier, but historically, at one point in time, that was deemed to literally not be the case. So
well, the rating isn't the PG, like that film rating system is not a rating system of how scary a film is. It's a rating system of how
I think about the violence and the gore and like the general like macabreness of it.
And horror and horror as a genre, for example, like there are subgenres, right? And some subgenres are more feed more into the gore side of it, and some subgenres are totally in that anxiety, anticipation, tension, creepiness. And so I think personally, both films do. Probably Temple of Doom has the edge on the creepiness in terms of the kid and the Kalima Milo, whatever his name is.
Molaram.
So they have that, like, that slow, wide creepiness thing, or he does that when he like Kalimas, he like slowly has his creepy smile, and the kids just except for that dinner scene, otherwise he's just permanently like the Joker. But the Raiders has, the discount Mads Mikkelsen villain, who he's kind of creepy, and Raiders has a lot, like it has like those sequences. For me, I didn't mind too much the insects in Temple, but like even though it is kind of hammy and silly, the screaming skeletons in Raiders, that scene where Miriam like gets in that tomb or whatever, that crypt, and then she runs into a skeleton and screaming at her, and then it keeps happening, like those. And then of course the face melting at like the final sort of sequence in Raiders definitely got some like, it's like horrific, not even because of the gore, just there's just something, there's an ethereal celestial horror to it, or it's actually, I think what it is for me personally, it's this combination that up until then we've been fed kind of from the French guy, that like, and just from the nature of the arc itself, that it's from God, it's of God, and it's holy and divine, and it's that kind of horrific experience of like, what if God's just this like cosmic, like horrific entity that it's not even like, almost like a Cthulhu, or not even Cthulhu, but like this being that like, it doesn't care about you, and the arc isn't necessarily evil, but it's just so beyond human perception and understanding that to be exposed to it melts your face off and horrifies you. Something like that, I think, is kind of what was at play for me with the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Whereas Temple, it's got those creepy factors of like the people, but then everything else is very overt. And for me personally, the sort of, the finger necklace on the statue and the creepy dragon or Kali statues and stuff, like that's not too terrible for me. It's just it's cool at its best, at its most effective for me. It's cool, and like again, Kali Ma and all that, it's cool, and creepy kid, it's funny and cool. At its worst, it's like overt and a little hammy.
I mean, I feel like the big scene in question, and tell me if I'm wrong, team, is when they pull the heart out of the guy's chest. Like that's kind of the moment that is like
that. And there's more melting people in this one.
No,
it's melting. Yeah,
what do you mean? Oh, you mean he drops him
in the thing?
Oh yeah, true.
You don't see it.
You don't see the melt.
Yeah, you do. You see the melting people.
Yeah, but it's
he catches on fire, but you don't really.
There's a monkey's
of his face.
But you don't
see a monkey's head with its eyes sewn shut and its scalp off.
You're like assuming that's a monkey's
head.
And
eyeballs. Like I'm saying, as far as PG-13 rating, I think these are the things that warranted
dessert.
Yeah, that's true. There is probably more. There's probably a higher count of visual, like squirmy things in this movie.
Yeah, but they're fun.
Oh, they are fun.
Yeah, they're fun. Kali
I don't think. I think they're fun. I'm saying that's why it got that upped rating.
pulling
To
a
me,
heart.
that's the
out.
thing.
It's cool. It's badass.
Yeah,
Kind
see,
of fun.
I think Alex is turning the tide here.
Oh no,
think
I always said
totally.
it was cool.
First dibs to Alex. Let me work. All right. What IP we doing next? I got to choose some mic. Harry Potter. I got to work on that one too.
Oh no, well, I know he likes Snape.
Stay in Indiana
Yeah,
Jones.
no, I love Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter.
Good. Yeah, the snake. So snake, bugs. What was I gonna say?
Snape,
Oh yeah,
Professor Snape, favorite character.
yeah, Professor Snake. So let's just do a quick go around now that we've kind of touched on the scary factor. What is the most skin crawly moment or the most visceral reaction that you have to something in this film? Because for me, it was the bugs. Like this afternoon when I was rewatching, which I wouldn't have expected. Because normally on screen I'm okay with bugs. Real life, not so much. But it was a lot more difficult to watch than I had ever remembered. Especially comparative to, like, I think that's the equivalent to the snake scene in Raiders, which I was fine with all the snakes. That I was just like, that's fine, slithering spaghetti. But the different types of bugs and that they just keep showing up from everywhere, I think it was filmed and edited masterfully, and I never care to watch it anytime soon again. So there
Can
we
you
go.
imagine doing that to an actor now? Like, okay, we're gonna put all these real bugs on you. Like, how for reals, 2023, how many actors are signing on the dotted line or getting it's some poor stunt kid or whatever?
Yeah.
Jumped on.
Call the alternate. Yeah.
But that's Kate Capshaw, man, with all those bugs. Those are real bugs.
Yeah, and that's another reason I love Kate Capshaw.
Well, there's a whole story with her
Bugs
too.
on her and went, that's the woman for me.
Exactly.
Bugs. She's gonna be this great life partner.
There is a bit of trivia on there was a scene in the movie that Spielberg wanted to shoot, but then she couldn't do it with not with bugs though. It was with a snake. She did have that scene where she chucks a snake. But
She fully grabs and throws.
Yeah. But there was another one where I forget what it was, whether it was supposed to be coiled around her neck or something. There's a story.
It's the bug scene, but this giant centipede goes into the air.
Well, we see that already in the film.
It's a shot in the back, and it's clearly not Kate Capshaw.
Okay.
And so I think it's a stunt, but just that one shot where it's right through, and which is it's pretty horrible. But
but actually I kind of like that it's not her, because for me that indicates that she had a limit to what she was willing to do, and she wasn't just in a situation. Well, I wasn't there, I don't know, but it gives me the impression that she wasn't in a situation of I have to say yes to everything. Like I get the vibe just watching this movie that she was up for almost everything.
There is
the amount of stuff that she herself is very obviously doing, whether it's just falling off of crap or having bugs crawl around her. Like she's in it. She's great.
I think for me the squirm factor was eating the bugs, eating the beetles, and eating the the snakes and the
snake surprise.
Like the actual when people would eat. Obviously, they're not eating monkey brains, but I think squirm wise, but in a good, fun kid way, ooh. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was more when they came out of the snake for me. That was just the unexpected little surprise that I wasn't ready for.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so awesome. It was a
so
snake
awesome.
surprise.
It was a snake surprise. Vince, what's your most squirmy moment?
Squirmy? You said affected viscerally.
Or visceral.
I misunderstood the
either visceral or squirm. They can be, or both.
Something that I felt viscerally, in the pit of my stomach. I really related to Harrison Ford in this moment was the scene where him and Willie, they're flirting really hard, and they assume they're about to bang, right?
Yeah.
And then he gets attacked by some guy in his room. That disappointed me so much.
I can't believe I'm not going
on screen, and it hurts. It really hurts. And then he has to kill a guy. I hate when that happens.
Right?
Ain't that the worst?
Just bad timing, man. Come on, dude.
No kidding.
He was about to do it. He was about to work himself up to go in there, and then
the guy comes to the false wall, and that's that.
Yeah,
there it is. But then the ceiling fan gets him, so it's fine.
Yeah. That man, though, the ceiling fans in
it's really strong. It's really
India,
sturdy.
they really built them industrially.
I know the propeller guy from the first movie is in this movie. Is this the same?
Oh,
Is that the guy?
the big guy who
Yeah, the
That's
big guy
not
who
the
got killed by the
same
propeller.
guy.
Is he
Oh.
the same guy that gets killed by a ceiling fan in this one?
no, he's
I would think
probably-
he must
if
be the
is
guy who gets
anybody-
crushed in the wheel.
Yeah, he's the big.
Oh, that's him. That's
but
you're
I don't know
right.
if that's
It
him.
would have been funny if
but-
continually getting killed by
By
fan.
propeller.
Well, he's continually getting like exploded in blood in a way,
Yeah.
right? Like the first one he explodes, this one he gets pasted. But yeah,
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Actually, that might have been my other most visceral moment. Was getting crushed in the wheel of doom.
Yeah.
Jeanette, what's your visceral squirmy moment?
Well, so I when I was a kid, I think it was the eating of the weird stuff, and I think that might be the tip of the tip of the iceberg on the list of things that maybe, because again, I think these are all great they hold up as films, but I think that the material, maybe the script or the way things are played out, some things are on shaky ground now. So I'll circle back to the food in a second as to why I think that plays into that. During this rewatch, I think it was the bugs are always a thing, but not the usually it is massive amounts of bugs that freak me out. But when she pulls her hand back and there's that weird like leaf bug that's just on her hand. And like that's happened before to me. Like I'll go, you go to reach somewhere, you put your shoe on and there's one in your shoe, like where you're like, is it there? Oh my God, it's there. You're like, or like I've had things fly into my hair before and you're like, like I literally reached in my shirt the other day, no lie. And I was like, what's this? And pulled a damn spider out of my cleavage. Like, that's a spider. Freaked out. So
Now-
when I saw that today, I was like,
Now, if that happened on the Indiana Jones attraction in Hollywood, wouldn't it be cooler?
I'd be like, oh my God, the
You
theming
handed
is
something, there's a
amazing.
spider in your cleavage. It'd be the most immersive ride ever. Oh my God.
Oh my God. It was crazy.
Ah.
So when I saw that, it like gave me flashbacks. When I would say when I was a kid though, it was the soup and it was the bugs and all that. And I think that it points to one of the overarching things that maybe is not immediate. It's immediately apparent how much of a ditz and a bimbo the woman is supposed to be in this movie. It's immediately apparent that Short Round is a horrible stereotype. But I think the thing that like the food and genuinely just the way things are depicted, like voodoo dolls being involved in Indian society, like those are two very different cultures.
Yeah.
Maybe there's an Indian version of a voodoo doll and I don't know about that, but it felt like this overarching just generalization of brown cultures. They all have these things, right? In their ceremonies. They all do these things. And this overarching be scared of things that are not white and Western. The food is weird. They eat bugs in India. Okay. But we had to make it weird and we had to make it odd and gross. And the bad people eat the weird food and the good people eat the normal food. And like that to me, in hindsight, is a lot easier to see. But back then you're like, this makes sense. This is a thing that happens in a lot of movies. The darker people are the bad people and they do weird things. And like in the first one, sure, the Nazis are white, but they're Nazis.
they also do
It's
weird
not-
things.
It's
It's
not
not
hard.
normal.
Like, and for that matter, their uniforms are dark. And I talked about it last week. The guy in the black turban is much more dangerous than the man in the white turban. Like, these are generalizations that we had to live with, and I understand it. But this overarching idea of different is bad, and like the fact that eating weird food was scary to me. Oddly enough, now where I eat like cow tongue and raw scallops, and I would probably eat a brain if it was a little bit more safe, but it's not. So please, like, don't go around just eating brains.
Yeah,
But
fine.
I would try an eyeball maybe if you cooked it right. Like it's not, it shouldn't, but just because it's weird, it was bad. The bad people do this. Like,
But it's 1984. B,
exactly.
they're turning up the comedy factor and really going for it. And
Yeah.
I totally understand what you're saying, Jeanette.
Yeah.
But they also kind of set it up a little bit in the village when Indy and they eat the village food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People bat an eye at that food now. Of course, Willie does.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
but Short and Indy eat it and it's cool. So I think they kind of set it up a little bit to not be too. 'Cause you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And it is and I'm unfortunately that kid that doesn't eat unique food. My wife is Taiwanese. She's always eating the weirdest stuff. And I'm like, I did it again. Shouldn't even say it's weird. It's not weird. It's just stuff I don't know.
It's just
Yeah,
it's just
not usual for you, unusual
Yeah,
for me,
will
right?
say,
Weird for me.
I think
Not
they're
weird.
laying the
It's different.
I think they're laying the basis more in that beginning part in the village for the other part of this white and people of color dynamic uh of white saviorism. There's a
Mhm.
fairly unnecessary scene at the end that we could have cut well before at
Yeah.
the end where all of the children are just like hugging them and kissing them and I'm
Yeah.
like this is gone a little egregious now. I get it. He did save the we get it now. We understand these people needed their relic back. It
Mhm.
doesn't belong in a museum. He's doing this for the betterment of the people. Great. We get that. Sold. Pan out, show the rock on the thing, show them walking into the sunset. No, we've got to have hundreds of little indigenous children coming up and like
Flocking to the white
like
man. Yes, to
glomming
Harrison.
onto them and I'm like, oh god, I kind of forgot about that and it just kind of it's a little kiss on the end there like don't forget.
I feel like that's a powerful scene and it really heightens the moment, but you're totally right.
Yeah, like I think the biggest
It's a
surprise for me
big white savior moment.
revisiting
We
it,
could have cut
like,
well before that.
oh, we could cut absolutely. I mean, I like the resolution, but we also just didn't need it's just the visual dynamics of it, I guess. And but the biggest surprise for me in revisiting it was how specific they are that we're in India. I think in my memory of this movie, from even the first time I watched it in full was probably when I was a teenager. I think it was a nondescript. I remembered it as being like a nondescript, semi-fictional culture, and I don't know if that would be better or worse. But something about them saying, "Oh, this is India, and this is how India is what doesn't sit super well for me right now, for like all the reasons that Jeanette said. While at the same time, I enjoy all of those wild, fantastical things.
They did what Epcot would later do with Norway. This is Norway, but it's really a generalization of every Scandinavian culture.
Yes, exactly.
So here we are. Like here's
Yeah.
India, but it's a generalization of many people with this skin tone.
It's Agrabah.
It's like okay,
It's actually full of
but again, I do think these movies, like I think they're good films. I think there's obviously any movie you watch a movie from 1999 for God's sakes, this is some pretty bad. You know, it's like a lot of stuff doesn't go down easy as much anymore.
Listen, it's not hard to watch a movie and find problematic things. Like it's not
Yeah.
anything
It's not.
prior to 2015 even. So
Yeah. I think it's interesting. This movie, at least when I watched it, they didn't have the Disney Plus disclaimer that they make you watch at the beginning, which
interesting.
I feel maybe should be there, but it's not.
You know what's funny? I don't think it was on mine.
Oh no, it wasn't on mine. either.
Yeah, no, it's not.
No, it's not. No, but like
Oh.
compared to other movies that, like I think even Swiss Family Robinson has it. Which
Dumbo has it.
yeah, there you go.
Like, yeah, interesting.
I don't know. For my 2 cents, which nobody asked for, I would say that like I
Alex,
think
makes sense.
Yeah, Alex,
Huh?
what's your 2 cents?
We want to know what
Yeah.
you're thinking.
I want 5 cents.
well now it doesn't count. Yeah. No, I think that the like sort of to like in terms of like the depiction of like India, I don't think the movie doesn't go out of its way to like the movie. It says we're in India, but India is a big place, and so the movie isn't like and as opposed to Raiders, for example, where they kind of hop around many different locations.
Mhm.
In this film, they don't do that so much. Like you get to the village, and then you journey to basically the temple, the Pankot, whatever it's called, and so it's relatively clear in my opinion, like you're in very specific places, village, King
Yeah.
Maharaja's temple. So from that perspective, I personally didn't feel like the movie was portraying India and Indians as like in a general sense. I took it more as like, no, I saw but again, that there's an argument, of course, that like the movie's also not going out of its way to you know, like protect against generalizations. But yeah, I think in lieu of it kind of like I just didn't get that like experience of, you know, these are how Indians are. And to kind of go from there, the food scene, the specific food, I don't know. I know we weren't too definitive on this, but like it's in theory, I mean, humans eat all kinds of stuff, and it's certainly valid to say that, you know, monkey brains would be an unusual, and it's not unreasonable for somebody who's not used to eating monkey brains to have a strong reaction to being offered monkey brains, and all that kind of stuff. So of course, I'm not saying that Indiana they were being especially culturally sensitive, but I am saying that like kind of with the voodoo observation that you made, Jeanette, where it's like maybe there is some similarity in some Indian culture. Maybe these foods are absolutely accurate depictions or whatever adjacently accurate depictions of foods eaten in that region or in adjacent cultures. And we don't know. I didn't research that myself. So yeah, there are just those kinds of elements where it's like, I still totally see the argument that these are seemingly exaggerated depictions of potentially accurate cultural things. They're still exaggerated, almost certainly, and for comedic effects and in ways that could definitely paint that culture in like an unfavorable light.
Yeah, they probably don't actually rip out the heart.
Yeah, they probably
just, like gently
it,
massage.
Yeah, it's probably a more like drawn out process, but of course they can't show like a 3-hour like heart extraction in a movie that's like supposed to be entertaining for kids and family and stuff.
Yeah.
So but anyway, just kind of like that idea.
I think Alex kind of nailed it there when he was like, the monkey brains. Maybe people eat monkey brains, but do they eat chilled dessert monkey brain?
True.
Now we're having fun. Now we're just trying to go for
next to Snake Surprise.
Right, exactly.
They may eat snakes, but do they eat Snake Surprise?
People eat snakes. People eat
of
snakes.
Course. Oh, definitely.
Do they?
Do you know what's funny? When I was in first grade, they had a African lady come to our school and feed us fried snake. And
how was it?
I don't necessarily remember. I ended up having snake again a few years later. It kind of tastes like frog. If you've ever had frog,
kind of tastes like chicken.
Frog.
Okay.
Like aquatic chicken, but not duck.
Oh yeah, I've had like frog legs, but
yeah. But I remember whenever that happened, I remember being like, "Oh, they did this to them in Indiana Jones!" Like being freaked out about it, specifically because I remembered eating snakes in Indiana Jones, and
and you associate it with like a bad
thing. I'm associating it with like freaked out, like why are they doing this to us?
also we're just kind of being basic too, you know, like like I was just in Tokyo like a month ago, and like I said, I only eat like chicken, hamburgers, and I went to a beautiful restaurant, was there with a big group, and all these dishes came out, and I was like, what is this, what is this, what is this? And I was terrified to eat anything. And I was eating turtle and shark and blowfish and
shark,
sea slug. And I ate all
shark.
These.
You can eat.
You can get shark here. Yeah.
What?
You just don't want to eat shark fin soup. That's the inhumane thing.
You
did not. You did not.
I didn't know. I just told you I didn't know what it was. They just kept putting meals in for like.
You
was the pointy part sticking out of the soup?
And like barbecue shark.
Listen, it wasn't a barbecue shark. A bowl came and they're like, it was just like Temple of Doom. I was in Bangkok Palace. They brought me the bowl and I went, what is
shark fin soup?
Do they throw the shark back in the soup?
Yes, they cut the fins off and they throw the shark back.
It's a terrible thing.
That's how you make shark fin soup. But shark, like
just kill the whole shark.
You can catch a small shark and eat it like a fish. It's delicious. It's normal. Anyway, that part's normal, not the shark fins.
So, but the summary is, I'm just being basic. I should enjoy all these things, you know, and maybe I would love a Snake Surprise.
Yeah, I don't branch out very often, but when I did, I decided to make it the most inhumane dish I could possibly imagine.
I didn't order it, and I didn't know what it was. Come on.
That was not the point of my message.
we talked about all the stuff I ate in Japan, and I was like,
Now you're making me look like a hypocrite. I'm like,
I'm
but
pretty
don't eat
sure. I'm
that.
pretty sure in the We Like Theme Parks episode, you didn't include the shark fin soup in your Did Bondo
No.
Like It game.
it was no, that was stuff from the parks. This is just stuff like I just did Bondo. What will Bondo eat at Tokyo Disney Sea? But then just having regular dinners for work, and I just my boss just orders the food, and it would just arrive, and we would eat it, and I'd be like, "What's this?" Or like horse, and I'm like, "Oh, cool."
That I actually do want to try one day. I kind of think it's weird that it's that you
I-
can't
My
eat
rule:
it.
I'll only eat ugly animals. That's my rule. So there we are. Yeah, and yeah,
Well, then
yeah.
now I'm interested to know what animals you find ugly.
cows.
Yeah.
Cows. Chickens
Cows
look.
are adorable.
Chickens look demonic. No, they don't start with me.
Cows
Vince.
have the most
Um,
gorgeous eyelashes.
No, they don't. No, they
Oh,
don't,
they
Jeanette.
do.
No, they don't. And okay, pigs usually, but I rewatched Moana recently, and Pua's really cute. So I'm on a break from pork.
Babe
for a
wasn't
while.
enough for you? You had to-
Oh no, I forgot about Babe. Okay, I might not be eating pork for a while now. So yeah, chickens and cows, not into it. So yeah, let's pivot away from the food talk.
Sorry.
Let's talk about Short Round. Let's talk about Short Round and Willie, about those two, our sidekicks, our companions, specifically Short Round. Let's open the conversation about him, since he's made kind of a career resurgence recently. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I'll go with it. I think he's significantly better in this movie than he is in the role that won him an Oscar. I
Which
said
role
it.
won him an Oscar?
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Who was he in that?
The husband.
The husband.
Oh, you think the husband? You think his performance as the husband was worse than his performance as Short Round?
I mean, I wouldn't use such harsh terms, but the sentiment is correct. I wouldn't say worse, but I would say I think Short Round, the performance was better than.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just think
okay.
he was a genuine article, man. He
Yeah,
was
that's the thing. He's so sincere.
Asian little boy that had some
Yeah, Short Round was awesome.
arts training and was funny and cute. Spielberg, this guy can cast kids, man. E.T. kid, like he knows how to pull them. Look at Goonies. He was in Goonies. Spielberg, right?
Yeah.
This
think he
guy can
produced
cast
it.
kids.
Wait,
Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Goonies,
Yeah, Spielberg. Yeah, Goonies. I can hire kids. And apparently it was another one of these. He didn't go to audition. He was there to support his brother, and he saw him and went, "Oh, who's that? Who's that?" Right. So I think that's there's an authenticity to that role that makes it. And I think that's just really him. Like even when you're seeing him now,
Oh yeah.
all those Oscar speeches, it's still Short Round to me. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, that energy! It's the same dude.
Oh, exactly. It's so endearing, and he's the heart. He's the heart of this movie for me. I don't really like Indiana Jones as a character. I'm coming to realize. I love Harrison Ford. I just don't care for Indy as a person. But
shame on you, shame.
I said
I
what
think,
I
I
said.
think they're the same.
I'll
I
get
think
to
Indy
that.
is
I have a
Harrison
take.
Ford, but anyway.
I have a take on that.
Could have
Yeah.
went to
And-
Delhi. Could have went to Delhi and just called it a day. No, we're going to Pankot Palace. Okay.
But yeah, Short Round. He has my heart in this movie, and yeah, it's the most sincere performance I think we get, and I love him. But there we are. Vince, what do you think about Short Round? About
Short Round.
Shorty?
Look, I really like Short Round. You know, hold on to your potatoes, Dr. Jones. It's one of the best lines in the entire trilogy. I just want to say, The Goonies was directed by Richard Donner, but the story is by Spielberg.
There we
Ah,
go.
there you
That
go.
sounds right.
There you go. Richard Donner, what a director, eh? I love. I
What
like.
else did
I
Richard Donner
like
do?
the Superman movies.
Superman.
Oh, Superman. I haven't seen a Superman movie.
Oh my god.
I'm waiting for the marathon.
Yeah, watch the old ones. But look, okay.
And his skill's pretty good.
Short Round was really good in this movie. When I watched this as a child, he was the one I identified with the most. You know, as a kid, you know, you get to tag along with Indiana Jones for whether he wanted to or not, and he got in some perilous situations. He almost got killed several times, but you know what? He made it out okay. Indy had his back the entire time, and
Except for that one point when Indy was indoctrinated by the blood.
I want to talk about that. So
Let's go.
it
Go,
was
buddy.
fire. It was the fire, like when he got smacked by
Yeah.
the torch that knocked
Yeah,
him out, or was
cures.
he taking it the entire time?
No, fire cures. Indy wasn't faking it.
Okay. So
Hard fact.
this ties in with something I wanted to talk about earlier. I wish the villains were fleshed out a little bit more because I think they were kind of sympathetic, aside from the open heart surgery scenes. But like, I believe at one point they mentioned that they were going to use this ancient technology to fight the British, right?
He did well, yeah. Sorry, that's just the very beginning of his speech about how he's going to rule the whole world. But
Yeah.
yes,
Well,
The
first
British
step
is a
kill-
part of it.
First
It's a
step is
step.
kill the British.
Yeah.
Second step is kill the Jews. Final step is kill the Christians. Or no.
Yeah,
Second
they
step
do
is
say
kill
they say
Muslims.
the
Third
Hebrew
step is
God
kill
will
the Jews.
fall, the Christian God will fall from
Yeah,
the sky.
For that, the
Yeah.
Muslims will fall. But yeah,
Okay.
And
Well,
then
British
everyone
first.
eat the snake at the table. That's their last thing. Is everyone's going to eat this dinner and not bat an eye.
Yeah.
The
just
sound bites I
wanna
just
say-
got from Alex. It's great. Okay.
Let's imagine an alternate universe where in Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones doesn't prevent the Nazis from acquiring the Ark. And in this prequel, I guess 1935 is when it's set, right? Indiana Jones in this alternate universe also fails to prevent the Thugi cult from acquiring the magic stones. What if in this alternate universe, World War II is India versus the Nazis with ancient technology exactly on it? That'd be great.
Yes.
That'd be fantastic. I
Indiana
love that
Jones
idea.
what if. I love it.
Nazis
Who
with
wins?
God's Ark.
Who
I want to
wins?
say I'm going to go with Team India.
Jesus versus the thuggy gods.
I think that
Yeah.
ark's
Kali,
melting
yeah,
everybody.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, who melts your face off versus
Yeah, I go with the face melters. Yeah.
heart.
Except the Nazis have to figure out how to harness the face melting, and I don't think they have.
Well, no.
patience
They
for that.
just bring the
They just
ark. They just drop it like
drop
at
it.
at the border of India.
And they
They-
wrap little things
they
around
tie
their
us-
eyes,
Yeah,
and then they open it.
I was gonna say they tie a
All
string
right.
to the lid and then they just.
But then that intel gets to, partway through the war, gets to Molaram, and he's like, everybody goes with covers their eyes, and then the Nazis are like, what else can it do? And then maybe there's an uprising, and the Thuggee cult succeed. Guys, this is the what if. Who's writing this down?
This
These
is great. I hope Kathleen Kennedy's watching. I hope she's one of the 9.
I know, right?
Yeah, come on, Kathleen, make it happen.
and it's got to be animated and only 30 minutes long.
Yes, please. We could just do it ourselves. There we are.
Anyway,
Um,
those are my thoughts. I think Short Round was great. I hope he's in the Dial of Destiny.
I'm glad we brought it back.
That would be cool.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Yeah,
Oh, that would be awesome.
he
Yeah.
might be. There is speculation. He's denied it, but
It'd
people-
be
Oh,
really
like
cool.
Andrew Garfield denied being Spider-Man again.
exactly. Meryl Streep denied being dead in Mamma Mia 2, and then we all know how that went. So,
I have no idea.
oh, she's
gonna
dead.
say-
Mamma Mia 2.
Thank
Or
you.
we didn't waste time watching Mamma Mia 2, and we
Mamma
don't.
Mia 2 is amazing. It's so much better than Mamma Mia 1. Mamma Mia 2 is such a good movie.
I'll trust your opinion on that.
Yes, thank you. And Lily James, Pam Anderson, Cinderella. We love a movie carried by Lily James. It's great.
Yes.
Yeah, but Jeanette, what was your take on Harrison Ford versus Indiana Jones when I said I don't like Indy as a character?
Oh. So I want to like just be like, oh, I definitely like Indiana Jones, right? And then I'll start watching them and I'll be like, questionable. And then around the same time, and I get so because then it makes me feel so base and such like a common, average, not special human being when I'm like, all of a sudden I come around on him and it's at like the same time that the female heroine in the movie also comes around on him. And I'm like, God damn it. Excuse me. I'm like, that's God, what the heck? Like, am I really that? I can see things coming a mile away in movies. No. It's good. It works really well. I'm just saying, like, he's a really well written male action character because there are ones that are supposed to work like that I'm like, oh,
Yeah, but I feel like it's the same thing with Karen Allen last week and Kate Capshaw this week. I think the characters on paper aren't great, but it's
I agree.
just they have the right people.
I'm
That
gonna
makes
say,
them happen.
I'm gonna disagree with you, Punky.
Really?
Boy.
Oh,
Go.
Listen, there's a formula.
yeah.
Fortune and glory. I'm in it for myself. I don't care. Well, there's a bunch of kids in there and a village that's starving. All right, I'll do it. Every time. Like every time it's I'm in it for me. Actually, I'm in it for you. And that's the magic of Indiana Jones. And you buy the badassness, how badass he is, and how cool and knowledgeable and smart, and he's going to outwit you and to get that thing. But really, why does he want that thing? To put in a museum. It's not about fortune and glory. It's quite frankly, when you get to that third movie, it's about honoring his father. You know what I mean?
No spoilers.
Oh, okay, whoops. But you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you got to dig a little deeper, friends. You got to dig a little deeper in front of your face.
Well,
And I feel like he comes around not only just in a positive arc for the story and for the narrative, but also on that romantic light too, because it's James Bond. They want a new female heroine every movie.
But he treats them so horribly.
Yeah. Well, you ever watch a James Bond movie?
No, I've never seen a James Bond movie.
One of the parts that maybe didn't
Wait for
hold
the
up
marathon.
so well, in my opinion, was one of those moments where I'm like, "Oh, I don't like that they did that," but I really like that they did that, where he did the thing with the whip at the end of the movie.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That-
I was like, huh. And then I was like, okay, well.
That probably hurt.
So it works exactly how they want. Like, I don't like it, literally, and it takes as long as it takes for her to get over there for me to change my mind. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm just
well,
concerned. It sounds like it hurts. You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
one can only hope.
Yeah, she seems into it, so it's not against.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's against her will.
I will
so-
say her character is obnoxious, but she acts it in a way where you're like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to feel about this character. Like,
yeah, well, I think
not,
she's both
she's
obnoxious,
being
but
obnoxious, but
she's so
doing it-
justified.
yeah,
so
she's
many
doing it to
ways.
the way where we're supposed to feel it. I feel
Yeah.
like not
Like-
in an over. I'm not annoyed by the actress and the way she's acting it. She's acting it to the correct degree of annoyingness.
Guys, it's on the page. They're contrasting characters going in two different directions and somehow pulling to one another somehow. A magnetic chemistry of two completely individual people that want two totally different things. That's a Hollywood. It's a track, and it's beautiful. I love it. I love her portrayal. I agreed with whoever said they liked this better than Karen Allen. Karen Allen was like
That was me.
another tough archaeologist type person.
I like her character more,
It was more
but I
fun.
like the acting in this more.
I find this
Yeah.
character more interesting, I guess, than Marion. Even though I love Marion, and I love Karen Allen.
Yeah, she's
and
great.
for the franchise, I prefer her, I guess, overall as like a counter to Indy. But I enjoy this character between the writing and the acting more to watch, especially because I think she's totally justified in acting the way she's acting. She's a little bit annoying, yes, but at the same time, she didn't ask to be on the adventure, and it's not a pleasant experience. I would probably be the same way if I had built my career to a point where I had a nice house and a garden. And I'm getting paid to perform every night by rich business people, and then all of a sudden that's taken away, and now I'm riding an elephant. And well, granted, I love elephants, but still, I'm in the water. No,
Why did she get on Lao She's plane, man?
Yeah, why did she leave that first thing? I mean, the movie doesn't really give us a good reason for why she's on the plane with Indy.
well,
Daniel probably would have had her
she
killed.
would have died. if
Why?
she
What did she
stayed in
do?
The club. She was there.
Look, he's a criminal. He's a criminal overlord. You know, he's going to assume that she was in cahoots with him or something.
I don't know. She seemed pretty chummy with him at the beginning. She was all like, Lau, what are you doing, Lau? Come on. And he's poking me in the
he
side,
told
Lau.
Indy that she can kill it. That he could.
But
kill
I
her.
think that's another sign of her ditziness. Like, you think to her self-importance, like, oh, save me. Like, when really we know that nobody there really, like, she's just an object. Like, I think the thing that bothers me about her character in comparison to someone like the first
Marion?
movie,
Mhm.
is that she is this level of ditzy that I feel like, once again, only works if you have a pre-prescribed idea that women are or can be or whatever this way. Like, so freaking dumb, and like so complainy and like can't read the room, like just a social idiot.
Is she a dummy though? Come
Yeah, I
on.
don't know if I agree with that. But I mean,
Yes!
not
Like
to,
I feel like she just plays on
water,
every
guys. Like
trope that any man, like, there's this woman on this man's adventure. Like, I don't know. That was how I felt, and I felt like that when I was a kid.
it was
Even I
the
was like,
1930s.
"Jeez,
It's
this
30s
is the worst
Hollywood
With-
starlet. And she's
stereotype
like,
of a woman ever."
it's like, I don't know what to tell you, but in that moment, she wasn't like, I'm a dummy. She was just like, she knows Lau. I thought that she was with Lau. Like
me
with-
too. I thought, oh, you thought like with Lau.
Well, maybe not all the way, but
Okay.
kind
Yeah, no, like kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
you know, I felt like there was some kind of romantic history, like maybe a smidge, but not
I
maybe
think-
a ton. I don't know, because he throws her away right away. You take the girl.
Yeah,
I'll get,
I need a new girl. I
I'll
want
get
to-
another means
Yeah.
to me that is my girl presently. I will get a new one.
my singer
Yeah,
or something else.
You could be right. Yeah, sure. But
I think Lau treats Willie the same way Indy treats his female students back home. They have a similar relationship.
Gotcha.
yeah,
Gotcha.
Do you have it written on your eyelids?
no.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I should have done that. Sweet.
next week. I will say one moment that I think is just so perfect for her character is when she's first offered food the first time, like in the tent or whatever, when they first get there, and then he's like, people are starving, and then she, to me, has the moment of really beautiful sincerity of, oh well, I'll give it to them.
Then you eat it.
Like selflessness of, which is just to me this perfect combination of, I don't want this, but I'm not a monster, and if they do want it, I will give it
I
to
feel
them.
like
while
that's all you, Matt.
No,
don't
I
think
love
she was
it.
being genuinely
I think she was
sincere in
being
that
genuine.
moment. I think
She
she was
was.
just. I think she was being relieved to not have to eat it or whatever. She was like, "Oh well, then please take it because I definitely don't want this." It wasn't like a.
No, she's not
"Oh,
a monster.
you're
No, she's
starving
going to
and
share the
they-
food. It's two birds, one stone, Alex. She doesn't want to eat it. She wants
only
to
cares
feed the
about
people.
not eating the gross food. That's all she's
just
caring
a
about. in that
diva. She's not gonna eat the
Exactly.
You want-
Yeah. Bondo
It's-
got it.
Come on.
Bondo got it.
We all got it. We all know.
No,
We're just
Matt don't got
No,
it.
no, I got it.
Matt's
I
crazy.
got. No,
Matt's
Kate
cray-cray, as the
slipped in
kids
a
say,
nice
right? That's
little
what we're
subtle
saying.
character moment that humanized her.
No,
while
she
still
didn't.
keeping her awful. It's
It was a
why I
great
lo- it's why I
moment,
love
but-
her.
No, you're
It
taking.
wasn't a human moment.
I said to dig deeper. I take it back. You know.
Yeah, I dug
All
a little
surface
deeper.
level. It's on the page.
If you want to talk about surface level women characters, just wait for Elsa next week. There we are.
That's her name.
I don't know that there's ever been like I do think like the first one is the most like she's not a super fleshed out character, but she at least can hold her own. I don't know.
I like
Maybe
Marion.
My disdain for I'm sorry. I apologize to anyone that's offended, but for weak women, I can't. It drives me up.
Yeah,
Well,
I agree with you.
you-
Like, oh, go ahead, Chris.
Oh, sorry, Alex. No, go ahead, please.
Well, I was just gonna say quickly. Well, that's not never true, but I was gonna say that Mary. I agree with you, Jeanette. That like I like Marion as a stand, and I guess probably Matt and maybe even Chris. Like I think all of us, or a lot of us. I don't know if Vince jumped on this wagon as well, but I think a lot of us have said something to the effect of Marion. We like Marion as sort of isolated as a character. Like she's a strong character, strong woman, asserts herself. You know, we admire her. Whereas Willie seems to work in terms of the relationship. So her chemistry with Indy is really cool in this film, and what she sets up comedically. You know, it's effective. Now, like, was I laughing in that sequence where she kept seeing like snakes and bears and tigers and whatever?
Oh my.
Was I laughing? I actually, it was borderline uncomfortable for me in that fire scene where she kept getting hit in the head by the elephant trunk. Like I was borderline like she's literally just getting beaten in the head by that elephant.
More concerned for
like,
the elephant.
And
yeah.
Indy's just like talking at her, just like explaining the legend of the stones, and here's what we're doing. And she's just like, yeah, go away, you know. So I was really like, so I can see, but what I think for me is that Willie, like I do think the dynamic between her and Indy, like Indy does treat her poorly in a lot of ways, and Willie just kind of she's rewarding that to an extent, and it's communicating this sort of like, like no means yes kind of thing, like even down to the whip thing, where it's like even when he whips her, if you see he whips her at the end, she turns around, she's not happy immediately, she's like kind of pouting.
No, yeah,
He pulls her to her, and then at the end, right when he's
exactly.
right. So that I see the problematic nature of that, but there's such a chemistry, and the actress is, I think it's the actress primarily that does this great job of being endearing, and even in spite of, I don't personally agree that she's dumb. I mean, but I don't think you're necessarily wrong. I think I'd like to hear more.
I think ditzy or
I think she's
bimbo is a much
entitled.
better description.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
I
she yeah. What are you gonna say?
I think the mistake there is that on the character arc and the writing there is that she gets, how do I say this without sounding ridiculous? They wanted that scene where they're going to do it and then the guy kicks their butt. So all of a sudden out of nowhere, she's interested. Like there was no chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, an apple, let's do it. And it's like, why didn't anybody tell
To
me?
be fair, when you're starving and then you eat, you do feel a lot better afterwards.
Bring her an apple.
Blood
and
starts
stuff
moving
gonna happen.
around,
But there was no history. There was nothing. She was angry. She even said the thing like, "Oh, there's a rich prince here or whatever. I'm gonna make some magic." Boom. And then after, she's like, "No, I want to do it with you, Indiana Jones." And then Indiana Jones schluffs her off as he does, and then goes through a boob statue, and goes up.
That's so. I love that scene.
Yeah.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
So I feel like it kind of set it up out of nowhere, and so it would have been cool if you saw those sparks fly throughout, as opposed to just came out of nowhere. And maybe that's why it feels kind of a little bit off or rando, almost just kind of like the good guy gets the girl at the end. It would have been maybe it was a better strategy, but it was obviously a convention they wanted. They're like, okay, you got two really good looking actors that everybody wants to see some heat, and then this fight's gonna break out. And I would have been like, that sounds awesome. Let's put this in the script. And they did. So I can see that. But I feel like they do a really, like someone said, weak, like Tinker J, you're not feeling the weak women. I don't see a lot of them in this. Like even Willie is determined and like
she's not afraid to scream out and yell when she's not happy.
She put her hand in that thing and pulled the thing out. She screamed and yelled. But she's a Hollywood. She's a singer. She's fish out of water. They're playing up the comedy. You have Karen Allen, who's obviously tough as nails. She's out drinking dudes. You got Elsa, who's villain turn. I mean, come on. You have strong women in this, and then Kate Blanchett, and she's amazing.
Yeah, no, this specific character is the one that most of the women don't bother me. I think, and even like I said, even as a kid, I was just like, this woman is so annoying. I feel like
comedy.
If she died in the course of this movie, I would be totally okay with that.
If she was eaten by those crocodiles, you'd have been like, "Oh, that took forever."
Do we ever find out what happens to her after the fact, or is she just done with after this movie?
What happens to the Bond women? They're just
don't they die? I don't know.
Women don't matter after they kiss Indy at the end of the film.
Yeah,
they just turn. They poof.
Yeah, they Thanos snap. Thanos snap, baby.
Have we considered the possibility that she's been dealing with Stockholm syndrome the entire film? Like she's basically Indy's prisoner. Starting at the beginning, he holds a knife to her. Lau's like, kill her, whatever.
I think it's
I'll get another.
Sorry.
I think it's a 4.
He was threatening her with the
sharp object.
The dingle hopper. Yeah.
And then they hop on the plane, Lau's plane of death. They fly down the side of the mountain, and
like goes in and grabs the antidote out of her.
Oh, that's true.
Or whatever. Like he's.
I feel
real bad for Willie, and everyone thinks
she made her own bed.
It's not fair.
When they're running up that plane, she could have just sat down and said, "I'm not going."
Yeah,
you gotta live with it. All right.
Yeah.
It was what's his name? Dan Aykroyd was so convincing. Oh, we got you a plane. You don't even see the guy's face.
What? Dan Aykroyd?
That's Dan Aykroyd, man.
Yeah, it's Dan Aykroyd that leads him out there.
Oh, we got you a plane. Unfortunately, it's got a please come on in.
Unfortunately, it's full of live chickens.
Yeah, whatever the line is. Yeah,
so good.
This would be the spot where you leave, Elsa. Very good. Or sorry, Willie. If you want to not get on this plane, that would be a good idea.
And in that same scene on the tarmac, I think George Lucas and Spielberg are background actors, like extras.
Really?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Really cool.
Like you don't really see them, but as trivia, they're there.
No, it's there. It's a
That's
Hitchcock
so wet.
one. Yeah, like Harry and William in Force Awakens or whatever. They're stormtroopers. Or no, maybe it was Last Jedi.
Really?
Yeah. Their scene got cut, but it was shot.
Oh, like when the NSYNC guys were in a big Jedi battle. And,
Were they? In the prequels?
yeah, and the second or third one.
Well,
The
the
one-
princes of England are in Force Awakens or the second one.
Yeah.
those.
Yeah. Last
saying,
Jedi.
They got cut. They got cut
Got
out.
cut.
NSYNC
cut.
made it in. They're in there. Like
Good for
Timberlake
them.
is big. He's in there.
Nice.
Is there anything else about this movie we want to discuss before we do the game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Game time.
Yeah, there's a game. I told you going to be a game, Chris.
I got something I want to say, but it has to do with the discussion we had last week.
Let's go.
So I don't know. Okay. Last week we were discussing that it's kind of unethical that Indy, he goes around taking artifacts, and I think someone mentioned that it's not good that he kills a lot of people, even though
Oh, yeah, that was me. I didn't like how liberal he was with killing people.
I have a solution. I came up with it almost immediately after the stream. Okay. They can fix this in Dial of Destiny. All they have to do, you see, they've never confirmed Indy's religion as far as I know.
Oh, no.
What if he's Jewish? That way, him killing Nazis is fair game, self-defense every time. Not to mention, he also kind of has an ancestral claim to the Ark. So that's not stealing.
All right, but what about
Very
the
good.
Indians?
Oh, that's not good.
What about that guy in the ticket who was been Cold George that he just shot?
But 3 out of 4 movies ain't bad. Yeah, right.
Imagine that is the big twist in Dial of Destiny, revealing that Indiana Jones is Jewish.
That'd be fantastic.
I would love it.
Uh,
Fedora and puts on his yarmulke at the end. The
they,
path with the torch. I like it.
Beautiful,
they
beautiful.
flash back to Last Crusade, and it's just like instead of the top hat that his father wears or whatever, it's like yarmulkes. It's like
Okay. So
I'll say something really quick before we get to this game. This movie's awesome. If you don't love Temple of Doom, give your head a shake because you don't know how to have a good time. And that's that. Okay? Go watch something else if you can't watch this and have a good time. It is
Right.
super fun. It is awesome. It is 80s through and through, and by far the best Indiana Jones movie.
And I'll say, if you don't like this movie but would like another one from 1984, you should watch Amadeus. There we go.
Amadeus.
I always have to throw that in there. If it's from 1984.
Return to Oz was 85.
Great
What else
film.
came out in 84?
Check
There
out
was a
Ice
few others.
Pirates.
I think Splash was 84.
Good.
Um,
Ice Pirates.
Yeah.
Ice Pirates.
That's a great one.
Check out Ice Pirates. It stars Robert Urich, and it's got Angelica Houston and a very young, what's his name? Guys, help me. He was
Matthew Broderick.
Vince Vaughn.
no, no, it's very young, big guy. Played the red guy with the hand.
Oh,
Big red guy.
Oh, Ron Perlman?
Ron
Ron
Perlman.
Perlman.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a terrible the red guy with a hand. Yeah,
I was thinking of like Red
boy.
Skull. I was like,
yeah. Anyway, it's pirates in space. It's like Treasure Planet, but an 80s comedy. It's really terrible.
sounds
Well, and the movie
Amazing.
Pirates is pretty bad. So Ice Pirates.
Yeah, there's no
Movie?
water.
What Pirates? Pirates is that? Which Pirates?
No, the movie Pirates, the comedy like 80s.
Oh, there's just a
spoof
movie called Pirates. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh, but that's the Pirates of Penzance knockoff, isn't it? The pirate movie.
Maybe. I don't know. I
No.
watched it once with my parents, and my mom always talks about how bad it is.
Oh, I love Pirates. Of
Pirates of
Penzance.
Penzance. Kevin Kline is great.
Yeah. Yeah. And Linda Ronstadt for some reason is
Oh.
there,
Oh
too.
my god,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
love Linda.
Yeah. She
Scary.
not who I'd cast in the Gilbert and Sullivan musical, but she did it, and it's a thing that happened. So there we are. Here we go. So for this game, it's a little bit of everything because I wanted to give Chris especially the full Teacup for One game experience. So it's a little bit of the humming game of the Name That Hum alongside a little bit of charades. And it's all based on John Williams because we didn't do a John Williams themed thing last week. It was all about museum artifacts that have been stolen. This week, one at a time, I'm going to give you the title of a movie that John Williams has written the score for. And then
Mhm.
your job is to charade that movie to everybody else. Now, if you think you know what the movie is, you'll get 2 points if you start humming the song that John Williams wrote. You'll get 1 point if you say the title of the movie.
Okay.
So
I
it's
think I get
basically
it.
charades. It's charades. And then to answer, when you think you know the answer, you either say the name of the movie, that gets you 1 point, or you can hum the theme song from the movie, that will get you 2 points.
What if you hum the theme song, but you don't know the movie?
Then you get 2 points.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
That
If you
part's
hum-
worth 2 points, and the other part is worth 1 point.
If you hum the right theme song of the movie the person is charading, you get 2 points.
But I
don't care
can't
how
think
you
of the
got
title
there.
of the movie. All
I
right.
don't care how you got there. Now,
Okay.
and counter to that, if you hum the theme song
I mean, it's a
and
highly
then
unlikely
also
scenario.
say
but-
the name of the movie, you'll get 3 points.
Nobody's asking you
Oh,
to show your
really?
work, Alex. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. Now, I will say some of these have very iconic theme songs. Some of them you probably didn't realize that there was music in these movies. So
Are we able to hum any piece of music that John Williams did in that that particular film, or does it have to be the main theme?
ideally the main theme, but if you can prove to me that it's in that movie, I'll take it.
Okay, cool.
Okay, here we go. So Vince, you get to go first. So everyone who's not Vince, look away because I'm going to put the title of the movie on the screen that Vince has to charade for us. Here we are. Okay, so Vince, there you go. Let me know when you have it.
I got it.
Okay, everyone may now look. Vince, you may start to charade.
Mirror.
Can we scream it out? Can we scream it out?
Mirror.
Yeah, scream or start singing.
Mirror.
Jaws.
There we go. 2
Dun,
points.
dun, 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 dun,
Jeanette, you get 3 points.
Okay, I thought that was Beetlejuice. Like when
Sorry.
And the music sounds very similar
You're
too.
way off, bro.
Yeah, I thought you were going to do this or point to Chris and like drink the soup. I don't know.
No,
There you
no.
go.
I didn't know
It
it was
worked,
bro.
except I
Yeah.
thought of
Yeah,
people
but-
pulling their mouths open.
right, Beetlejuice.
Yeah, it was
Well, I
fun.
thought Mirrors. There's
Hey.
a horror movie called Mirrors. But
I was on the spot. Okay.
You did a great job.
You did, yeah. Hey. it
Yes.
worked, man.
And
No shade.
we opened with the easiest one, so it's all downhill from here. Everyone who's not Alex, look away. Look away. Vince, look away. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, we may all look now. Alex, please begin your charading.
2 words.
2 words.
Smash,
I
smash,
I
got
think
it.
I know what this is, but it's not 2 words.
giant.
I think I got it.
Shout it out, Vince, if you think you know it.
The
shout it out.
Iron Giant.
No.
No,
keep
it's
going.
the big friendly giant.
Oh.
Jeanette, you get 1 point.
But
If
I don't
anyone
know
can hum the
freaking music
theme.
from that movie.
Can
I don't
anyone
know.
hum the theme from the BFG?
No.
Exactly. Okay. Good. Good. Next, Jeanette. Everyone who's not Jeanette, look away. Look away. Okay.
What?
And we may all look now. Go. Jeanette, start your charading.
Da-na-na, na-na-na, na-na-na-na-na. No,
No,
not that.
not that.
Oh, E.T.
What?
He was just humming E.T.
No, I wasn't.
He was humming Jurassic Park.
Oh, that is Jurassic Park. They all sound the same. I don't know.
Buddy, dog movie. Is there a dog movie? She's shooting heroin and she's
Shoot.
doggy paddling.
The gun?
Fox and the Hound.
What are you shooting?
Heroin.
You're riding
Listen to-
a horse.
It's The Notebook. Norris. Oh, Bondo, you said something she likes. Norris. Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris. What?
No.
I don't
Walker,
know what you
Texas
said.
Ranger.
Riding a horse.
It's a horse. Clop,
Aliens.
clop. Look
Did I
at
say
my horse.
Cowboys versus
Desperado.
Cowboys. Like a
Wild
rhinestone
Wild West.
boy.
True Grit.
Oh,
Rambo.
Rambo.
Rambo. First Blood. Rambo. Second Blood.
Inglorious Bastards.
windshield wiper.
What's that? I don't
Flag.
know.
Waving the flag. Patriot.
Lily Miz.
Flag.
Band of Brothers.
Wars. It's kind of war. War.
Oh, put them out of their misery, Matt.
Stephen
Nobody's gonna
Private
get
Ryan.
that.
Jeanette, he just said the first word.
What'd you say?
Gangnam style. What'd you say, Vince?
No, Alex said war.
I said war.
Oh,
I said, is it a
War
war?
of the Worlds.
who just said
War-
it? Somebody
War of the
just.
Worlds. Bondo.
No, never mind. You said War of the Worlds. Never mind.
War of Wars,
War of the
War of
Roses.
attrition.
war and peace.
Nobody knows this exists.
War.
What is it good for?
You're looking for War Horse.
Oh, war horse.
I don't even.
I didn't know
I
that
was
was a
so
movie.
excited.
War
It was
Horse.
so bad.
It's War Horse.
You think you know John Williams? It's like,
Steven
what?
Spielberg directed War Horse.
Yeah, right, he did.
Yeah,
Lovely.
but without puppets. So what was the point?
And what was
Okay,
the theme song?
probably. I couldn't tell you. Okay, next. Everyone who's not Bondo, look away.
Look away, peoples.
Okay, we can look now.
E.T.
E.T.
One word.
1 point for Alex.
Alex,
Who can do the ET theme first?
Hold on.
It's like a bike and a moon,
I
and it's magical. It's like
you just gotta sing the song, man.
The stairway to heaven.
I don't know.
God, it's like I hum this all the time walking around my house, and then I'm trying to think of it, and I can't freaking think of it. Oh my God, this is killing me. Hold on. I'm gonna take it out. Alex is throwing me off. Taking my headphone off.
E.T. Woo! It's like upbeat, right? It's like a upbeat kind of joy, happy. It's something. It's inspirational.
Do you want the first interval?
Yeah, give me the first interval.
Do do. I'm gonna give it to Chris. There we go. Da, 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 da,
There it
da,
is.
da, da.
I'm sitting here and I'm like humming, going through like 3
Superman?
different ones, and I keep ending up on Duel of the Fates. That is not correct.
I just kept thinking,
Imagine E.T. flying through the sky though on that bike to Duel of the Fates.
I just kept imagining being on that ride at Universal on that bike. You know, you're
I
just
know. Oh my God.
standing in
As
line in
soon
that
as you did it, I'm like,
5 minutes.
killing me.
Da, da. Okay, Vince, it's your turn. Look away if you're not Vince. Look away if you're not Vince.
I'm turning away.
Okay.
Ooh,
We may
okay.
now look.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Oh,
oh God. And again, I'm gonna kill. Oh my God.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
Hold on.
Bond's. I think Bond is claiming that he's got
I
the theme.
sang the song before you said hook.
What was it? Well, let's
Oh.
hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Hear it.
There we go. yeah.
Let me finish.
You weren't. Okay, yeah, there we go. You were doing that part. Yeah.
I didn't expect anyone to know the theme song to Hook. I'm very impressed. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
No.
Okay. Everyone who's not Alex, look away. Now, Alex, you need to get them to get this whole title. Okay. Not
Well,
just
that's
the
what I was trying to do,
franchise.
but Jeanette was like, "It's not 2 words. It is 2 words. The BFG. I mean, I guess BFG is not really a word.
Oh
But
my
Here you
God.
go.
Shut up.
I watched. No. I
Good
haven't.
luck.
All right.
Go.
Can I turn around?
Yeah, you can turn around.
Yeah. We got it.
6 words.
That
That wasn't counted as the third kind?
Yeah.
First word.
Yes. No, that's not it though.
I just sang it. It's
No,
not.
no,
Sounds
no,
like-
that's not the movie though. But
Oh,
that's a good.
that
It
was-
was a good gamble.
Sounds like wrist. Sounds like
That's-
arm.
Wrist.
Sounds like
Ben 10.
forearm. Sounds like bone. Phone.
Bone.
Phone. Moan. Groan. Zone.
Home. Home. Home Alone. Home Alone.
Home Alone.
Oh, Home
2,
Alone.
Escape from
Home
New
Alone.
York.
Lost in New York.
Home Alone. Lost in New York.
Jeanette
No
got
one
it.
has.
Jeanette
No
got
one
it.
has said the whole. No one has
She
said the whole
did.
title yet. We've only said pieces. Of
Home
it.
Alone.
No, Jeanette said the whole title.
Home Alone 2. Lost in New York.
There we go. Jeanette
That's what
said
she
the
said
whole
I
title.
said
already.
it like 30
You
seconds ago.
silly Billy.
I just heard Lost in New York, but okay, Jeanette gets to the point. Can anyone hum the theme song?
Oh, is it a-
I can't do it.
I don't know. That's the best I got.
What was
Is
it, Vince?
the same as the regular song? Or is it
How
different
I
for
think-
Home Alone?
I think it's the same. The opening is the same.
Yeah, no, it's not good.
Do,
I think I was humming the like something from Star Wars. Yeah.
That's
This
it.
gets it.
I
There we go.
swear, it's like I walk around the house just singing these things in my head, and you tell me to do it, and I'm like,
You
That
actually
sounds
are-
almost identical to Ray's theme from Star Wars.
They all sound very similar.
Hey,
Sounds like a lot of things.
It does. It's kind of got like a more of like a almost like an echo to it.
It's just quality YouTube, friends. That's
Yeah.
just
Well, that was Sondheim. We were doing Sondheim. Here we go. Okay, it's Jeanette's turn. Look away if you're not Jeanette. Look away if you're not Jeanette. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, we can look now.
okay. I don't give anything away.
run. The running.
And so far away. You got caught. You were running, but you got caught
The future.
by the boogeyman.
Oh, Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
I just don't. I have no idea what the song is.
I don't know that one.
Catch Me If You
I
Can.
do love the music from that one too, though.
What's
Policeman.
that song?
You
can't remember how it
Indian
goes.
Chief. What's that song from the musical?
No, not the musical, the movie.
From the
I know,
musical.
It'd be funny
was
if
that
I
one?
just started singing.
Live
the
in
musical.
living color.
I don't
No, the
think
girl
John Williams
song.
embraces this one because it's not on his like biggest compilation album. Of all
It's something
time.
really. It's something very stealthy. I think it's like do 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 do. No,
It
that's
is.
something else.
Do-do-do-do. It is. It's very much like that at the
Yeah.
beginning. Yeah.
Oh,
What was I
yeah.
humming though? Do 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 do. Oh, who knows?
Oh no, no, no.
Do.
It's very
Oh,
not
that-
John Williamsy.
Yeah. All right. Bondo's turn. Everyone, look away.
Look
There you
away.
go.
Cool.
Okay, we can look.
King Kong. He didn't do King Kong.
Jurassic Park.
Superman?
Yes.
Hmm.
Oh
shit.
no, that's Star Wars. But isn't it similar to Star Wars?
It is.
No, that is
It's
That's literally
deeper.
Star Wars.
Confidence.
But it's similar. There's something there. There's something there.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
There
Oh,
we
we
go.
got it at the same time. I think we
It's
were
got it.
both going there in our head.
I was all bent.
Da, da, da.
Yes. We both made it there at the
Isn't
same
this
time.
Indiana Jones now? Did we just segue into Indiana Jones?
It's all the
No,
same.
no, no. I think at some point they do a similar thing.
Do 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 do. That's what I think of when I think of the Superman. But yeah, very good, very good. Who? Oh yeah.
guess
Points
Vince?
rated that. There we go.
I think that's
Yes. Okay. The points don't really make sense, but whatever. We'll do something. It'll be fine. Whose turn is it? Vince. Look away if you're not Vince. Okay. Second last question. Here we go. Okay, we may now look. Begin your charade.
Jurassic
Jurassic
Park.
Park.
Can you tell I've been waiting? to do
Whoa,
that?
whoa, 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 whoa.
What part was that?
Yeah, what part was that? I don't think that's a Jurassic Park.
Yeah, Jeanette gets all
What are
three
you
points.
talking about?
What was that?
Yes, it's just like that.
We got
Sounds. It's right when the birds fly by the window. It's just like that. Dun, dun, dun. That's my favorite workout in the whole world.
Oh, hilarious.
I don't know. I feel like Jeanette doesn't know the full Jurassic theme park.
Jurassic
Park
theme
Mark?
park.
Jurassic-
Jurassic theme
Jurassic
park.
Park theme. Jurassic Park theme. Jurassic Park theme.
That's too late. Alex, you get the final charade of the regular round. Everyone look away.
Woohoo.
This is probably the easiest one, so expectations are high.
Lol.
Okay, we can look now.
Okay.
I just realized this could be really
Oh.
inappropriate.
Coneheads?
Oh, I wish.
No, Alex, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Alex, don't do it. Alex, don't do it.
Oh my goodness. Oh geez.
The joke? What?
Schindler's List.
Oh, is it no. Did that happen in that movie? Is it
Burn
the
after
one
reading? This
What
is
is his
triggering,
name?
Alex.
on the head? He's the Pope. Is the confused look part of the charade?
All right. Well,
Oh, JFK. Didn't he do a JFK movie?
Charlie Wilson's War?
No, I thought it was just called JFK.
I have no idea what this
No?
That was
is.
Oliver Stone.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Is it a what are you
Is
Are you
reading?
laughing at me because I didn't know JFK was
I was
Oliver
crying. I was
Stone?
crying. Fake crying.
Oh. What?
Jeanette, you're so close yet so far away at the same time.
And
Oh,
you're talking-
LBJ.
Ears?
Sounds like
Kennedy? Is it called Kennedy? Oh.
Kennedy.
No?
It sounds like
RFK.
Oh! Did he do Lincoln?
yes.
What is
I was like,
this?
who else has been
Top
on
hat,
set?
it's
What is
got that
this?
top
Top
hat.
hat. Yeah, I was like, wait, hold on.
He's watching the play. Watching
And
the
there's
play.
not a-
I'm with- no. Alex. You were giving us like the Emperor's Berg, like shape back. It
I
was
can
just,
see. I
like
can
a
see what I look like. I was
I'm
doing
like,
it like
what?
this.
I
we
thought
did
it
not
was-
get a
I-
rectangle, homie. It
Rectangle.
was really like,
Can
This-
we really
Every
expect
time.
anyone to know music from Lincoln?
If you did, you would have gotten a lot of points.
I was gonna say you should get a hell of a lot of points if you know music from Lincoln.
So these are the current point standings. Vince has 6. Chris Bond has 9. Jeanette has 10. And Alex has 4. So how many
I like
how many
that order.
points do we all want to wager for the bonus round? Jeopardy style. Okay, Vince is going for 5. Alex?
None.
None. Okay. Jeanette?
All of them.
Oh, okay. Chris?
even if I do all of them and she gets it right, I lose. Let's do 7.
7. Okay, very good.
Lucky number
I forgot to come up with a bonus question, so I'm pulling this out of my brain. You have the opportunity to either double or triple your points, so it's still kind of anyone's game.
Wait,
Well,
So yeah. So it's a true or false. If it turns out that the answer is false, if you give me the true answer, that will triple your points. That's how this goes. Although maybe the answer is true. So
There are
is no
multiple
opportunity.
questions.
No, just one question. It's just one question.
It's
Here we
true
go.
or false, but if you can tell the truth.
Yeah. So if you tell me that
Okay.
it's false, you need to tell me what the true answer is. Here we go. The question is, true or false? Did John Williams compose the score or the music for Back to the Future? And
That's
if
a
it's
yes or
false,
no
tell me
question.
who did.
Okay.
No, it's false.
I have to write down.
Well, oh, I have to write it down.
Yeah, write it down.
Hmm.
Okay. Then I
Now,
write it
granted,
down.
maybe it's true. You just
no,
say
it isn't
true, you
true. It's
double your
false
points.
because it's a couple points.
If it's false, tell me who did, and then you
I
triple
will.
your points.
telling you right now.
And I'm looking for the score, not for the person who composed Power of Love / Back in Time.
Huey Lewis.
You mean we don't just
Not
get to
Huey Lewis.
answer Huey Lewis?
You don't just get to say Huey Lewis in the news.
What about Chuck Berry?
No, that song was composed by Marty McFly.
You're right. You got me.
Yes.
And I feel like Giacchino would have been too young. These are the only people I know. John
got the
Williams
answer
and
right
Michael
here.
Giacchino.
Ready
Okay,
to
let's
win it
start
all.
with Jeanette's answer.
Just false. I don't know.
This is false. Okay. Alex? False Hans Zimmer. Okay. Vince?
I put false Hans Zimmer Senior.
Hans Zimmer is a junior.
That's great. Chris Bond?
I like that answer.
I said false, and then I put Huey Lewis, and then I put the news, and then I put Hans Zimmer.
Why
Why does everybody think it's Hans Zimmer?
We're into it.
Because he's the only like older guy that we probably have heard of.
Well,
Yeah,
it,
who
it-
composes
it was false.
Epic movie.
Yeah,
It was false, and it was Alan Silvestri. Silvestri?
yeah,
Silvestri.
that's right.
The best try.
Silvestri, yeah. I know
When you have
this
multiple Alex Silvestri.
for a very embarrassing reason because I did my cast recording review of Back to the Future the musical, and I didn't even do the research. I was so confident that John Williams wrote the score that I just said it like a fact in the video. Then people came in the comments and proved me wrong, and it was one of those cases where I couldn't prove them wrong. I was like, no, you're right.
So this bonus
totally wrong.
question is your housekeeping.
Yes, we all need to
Eternal
know.
shame.
John Williams had no part in the Back to the Future score. There we go. Jeanette, you won. Yay!
Yay!
Normally the first timers win. I don't know what the streak is, but here we go. Brilliant. All
Well,
right.
if you had accepted the news, I'd be the new champ.
It's you have to come back, obviously. And then there we go. There
Right
it
or
is.
wrong.
You have to bring me back when it's another movie that nobody likes but me, and that's the
Is that just Tron?
no Stinker J is right here, dude.
Oh, that's true.
Dude, come on now. Speaking of which, Pancake asked over an hour and a half
Oh
ago
yeah. Okay.
what my favorite Disney movie was.
Is it Tron?
My favorite animated Disney film is Hercules, and my favorite
Good.
non-animated Disney film is Tron.
Good
There you
answer.
Mhm.
Cool.
Good answer.
I even have Tron ears. You want to see my Tron ears?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. What's
Oh, and you still have them in the
Whoa.
bag and everything.
Are,
I
tho-
haven't been to a park yet.
are those from Disney or are they small shop Etsy?
I think this
situated?
is small. I don't know. Miriam bought
It's-
me these.
It's
Small
Etsy,
shop.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
Hmm.
I'm adding a Tron inspired shirt to my Etsy store soon, just so
Ooh.
everyone knows. Hold on, I have a banner.
Let's see it.
Wait for it. I mean, I don't have a banner to show you what it looks like, but boom. Visit the Teacup for One Etsy shop.
Wow.
Oh, apparently I set up a promo code. Apparently you can get 20% off. I forgot about that. It's still good though.
Sweet
It's still
deal.
good.
I swear.
Now you know. Now
High
you know.
quality t-shirts. Every one
Thank
of them.
you. Thank you. I think so. So there we are. Any closing statements? Anything that we haven't discussed for Temple of Doom that we want to just throw in there before we wrap things up?
It's the best.
It is the best.
Excuse me.
One more tidbit. I'm happy to see less elephants acting in movies now.
Oh, I agree. Even though I love elephants, I do love elephants
I love elephants too. Why do we? What's with all the hate on elephants?
because
what's
it's
going on?
not good for them to be in
Yeah.
movies.
What happens to them in movies? They
Well,
get-
Like, they're just not treated
I-
nicely.
just-
I'm sure they had a great day on
Yeah.
set.
yeah, I'm sure they get food. They get.
Snuggles.
What are they? What's going
Yeah.
on with these?
Having perfume thrown on them by Kate Capshaw.
I'm
Yeah,
sure it was
bacon food, man,
butter
that's what
Nice.
we want.
acted.
Elephants are smart guys. I don't know if you.
Like- Ooh, that's refreshing. It's so hot out here.
Let's listen to Alex and the guy that eats shark fin soup. How to treat elephants.
To know that it's shark fin soup first to get in trouble for it. Come on.
Okay. Okay, with that, time for everyone to sign off. We know the drill. Oh, maybe we don't. Some of us are new. We'll start with Jeanette. Jeanette, tell us who you are, where you can find us.
Hi, I'm Tinker J. Jeanette. You can find me here on Thursdays on Teacup for One, or Wednesdays if it's on Wednesday. And you can find me on We Like Theme Parks, a new episode every Thursday. So yeah, you can find me there. And on Instagram, I'm going to be down in Disney World soon, so please go find me over there and follow along.
Thank you, Jeanette.
Oh, hey, it's me. Hey, everyone. My name's Vince. Standing in for Lisa today. She couldn't make it, unfortunately. You can follow me on TikTok at Vinny Ridge Media. You can also follow me on Instagram at Vinny Ridge Media. When I'm not here depicted on screen, you can find me in the comments section making terrible jokes. I'm just thrilled to be here. Have an excellent evening.
You as well, Vince. Thank you.
Oh, I just talk?
Yeah,
Hey,
you just talk now.
hey guys. I'm Chris Bond. I'm Bondo from We Like Theme Parks. What Tinker J forgot to mention was that We Like Theme Parks is on the Chip and Co podcast network, and that's where you can find us every Thursday with a new show. And I'll also plug, just while I'm here, and since everyone at Teacup for One knows it, immersive Disney animation playing in about 13 cities across North America.
13 now?
Yeah, man. And
That's
and-
why the views keep going up on my video.
Boop. You're welcome. You're welcome. So if it's in your town, check it out. And yeah, it's pretty great. Plug,
Thank
plug,
you. Plug. Thanks, Chris. Boom.
And here we are again, folks. It's that special time when I get my 5 minutes of fame and fortune. Check out my shirt. I think it's funny. Activities for children. Let's summon demons. Ha ha ha. Otherwise, we like to do it here at the Teacup for One Movie Club the way we always have, the way we always will. And you know who you are. You know who I am. it's a blast, folks. So just cherish it.
And my name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and this is my channel. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Teacup for One Indiana Jones Movie Marathon. Join us next week, Thursday evening. We will be back here discussing the one with the Holy Grail or whatever, the Crusade, that movie. He chose poorly. So yeah, same channel, same time. Thank you. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and this has been the Teacup for One. How do I end this?